He is the greatest villain hunted by heroes worldwide. Yet, he is treated like an idol by the people. Because heroes, upon capturing villains, only impose the most severe penalty as a suspended sentence. But he directly eliminates those individuals. Although he occasionally causes major incidents, each time the damage is always zero. Initially, the people were a bit wary. Gradually, they changed their minds and became fans. Heroes, on the other hand, have to be mindful of their identities and other factors, waiting for villains to complete certain actions before intervening. But a great villain like him doesn't need to care about such things. Wherever he encounters them, he sends them to the underworld. Over time, he became an obsession that every hero wanted to capture to meet their KPIs. After several skirmishes, Egoistic sat listlessly on the rooftop of a building. His real name was actually Kim Ja-in. He sighed dejectedly. This looks just like Seoul. Suddenly, a large explosion echoed from below. Below, Walkman, a B-tier criminal, was battling Punch, a C-tier hero, and Kick, a C-tier hero. Kim Ja-in slowly picked up the mask beside him, muttering to himself, "But this place is vastly different from the Seoul I once lived in." That's right. Here, villains cause daily terror in a world where superheroes with special abilities soar everywhere. I've transmigrated into a superhero comic called Stardust. And in this world, I've decided to become a villain for one person only. In a flash, Kim Ja-in teleported to a nearby building. Suddenly, a voice came through his earpiece. "Brother, what are you doing?" Kim Ja-in replied, "I just teleported." Rest a bit, then continue. In this story, you are Egoistic, an S-rank villain. The voice on the other end wondered, "Hunting villains without any drama?" Kim Ja-in looked back. "This is part of the perfect plan, Seo-yoon." He recalled, "Hunting villains. Based on my knowledge of the original story, they'll become stronger later, so I must eliminate the disruptive ones while they're still weak. I won't let these guys torment my favorite character, Stardust, a second time." Through the thermal scope, Kim Ja-in aimed at a target, and the voice from the earpiece said, "He's just sitting motionless on the sofa. What's he doing? Now's the perfect time." Kim Ja-in drew his gun and cheerfully turned off the comms. All right, you rascal," he thought excitedly. "Luckily, I have enough power to execute this plan." His first ability was teleportation. Reno was reading the newspaper when a chill ran down his spine. He looked in confusion at the gun in front of him. What? What is this?" And his second ability was psychokinesis. Kim Ja-in, who had appeared behind him unnoticed, spoke, "Hello, Reno." The next second, with a loud bang, Reno was successfully dealt with. Kim Ja-in picked up the blueprint from his hand and examined it. A blueprint for a shopping mall? As expected, he was planning a terrorist act this time too. In the original story, this guy would later become the S-rank villain Rhino. He wears a rhino mask and is a madman who took the lives of hundreds. Han Seo-yoon's voice rang out again. "Police! The police reported gunshots to the Hero Association. Get out of there in 5 minutes." Kim Ja-in nodded cheerfully. "All right, thanks, Seo-yoon." Seo-yoon reminded him, "If you're going to thank me, remember to buy me a Morona ice cream bar when you come back." Kim Ja-in used his finger to wipe a streak of blood from the floor. He walked over and wrote a large T on the glass with a sinister smile. Would this count as a gift for her? A moment later, Stardust arrived at the scene to investigate. "So, is the deceased Reno?" The officer confirmed. "Yes, it's confirmed. That's Reno, the Class A villain. The perpetrator in this elimination, judging by their methods, is believed to be the same individual who previously eliminated Class A villain Enzo Dijak and then fled." Yes. The officer pointed to the glass wall with the large letters "To You, Stardust," written in blood. Stardust trembled with rage, clenching his fists and growling, "That madman! I will definitely apprehend him." A news reported that Class A villain Reno had been eliminated by an unknown malefactor. In the comments section, the public surprisingly supported the perpetrator, considering them a true hero for daring to deal with criminals decisively instead of merely detaining them superficially like current superheroes. Kim Ja-in clutched the screen, lamenting, "This is so problematic, so problematic. It's truly problematic. It's incredibly tricky." From outside, Seo-yoon pulled the door open and entered, scolding and muttering all this time. "It's really loud. What's so problematic about it?" This is Han Seo-yoon, the one with super intellectual abilities. Kim Ja-in's eyes blazed with anger. "They're even thanking you for eliminating the villain? If this continues, only your image will be boosted. What about the heroes who are chasing after you to apprehend you? Seo Eun asked again. Stardust? Kim Ja-in nodded, confirming, that's right, public opinion will definitely turn its back on Stardust. He clenched his hands, determined. To prevent this, I must hammer into the public's minds that I am a truly despicable individual. With that, Kim Ja-in urged, Seo Eun, get ready. Seo Eun showed clear annoyance. What now, seriously? Kim Ja-in excitedly pointed forward and declared, the villain Egoistic officially debuts. Elsewhere, outside the skyscraper, a broadcast voice echoed, the spectacle awaited by the entire 111th floor. Please enjoy it now. 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, the large screen was taken over by an image of Kim Ja-in. Greetings, everyone. I am villain Egoistic. You must all be curious who Egoistic truly is, right? I am the one who eliminated Reno and before that, Zodiac. Let's disregard those trivial matters. Do you see over there? Kim Ja-in said, pointing towards the tall building behind him. A few residents began to murmur, why is this remote control frozen? Isn't that Tower 127? Kim Ja-in then pointed to Building 61. And look over there. This caused the residents inside to murmur. That's the place, right? With a devilish grin, Kim Ja-in announced, I've planted bombs in both of those locations. Immediately, his words sent shockwaves through the entire populace. They desperately tried to escape, but failed. What's happening? The door won't open. I don't want to die here. Kim Ja-in stood defiantly amidst numerous cameras and said, well then, let's start the game now. If there's a villain, there must be a hero, right? A cold smile spread across his lips. Stardust, the A-rank hero in charge of Seoul, stop me. Before Kim Ja-in could finish speaking, Stardust flew in from the front. Already here? Kim Ja-in immediately adjusted his clothes, his long cloak, his trousers. Finally, he put on his mask. Why are my hands shaking like this? Finally, I get to meet her in real life. Immediately, a resounding explosion erupted, sending countless small drones flying far away. Stardust landed majestically in front of Kim Ja-in. His face was filled with fascination. This wasn't like the comic books. Standing before Kim Ja-in now was Stardust, the A-rank hero in the flesh. A person who exists in real life. Returning to the flashback. At that time, Kim Ja-in was holding someone, hiding within the walls. He sighed. Where in the world am I? Please send me back to my old world. As he emerged from the narrow alley, Kim Ja-in suddenly froze. He looked up at the large screen in front of him and recognized Stardust. Kim Ja-in was astonished. You've got to be kidding me. Is this Stardust? Kim Ja-in thought to himself. If I become a hero, I'll be able to be by her side. But having watched Stardust countless times, I know. Even if I become a hero, I won't be able to protect her. To protect her, there's only this path. Back in reality, Stardust angrily gritted her teeth. This guy, Egoistic. Kim Ja-in got back into character, holding out the button. Stop right here. He decided in his heart, I will become the villain just for you. Kim Ja-in threatened, from now on, if you take another step closer, I will immediately, understood? His heart whispered to himself. So just walk your path of flowers. When 15-year-old Kim Ja-in sat leisurely on the sofa watching TV, watching the scenes unfold, he couldn't help but feel annoyed and grumble. Is the author really insane? Even for a villain, this concept is a bit too much. Back in the battle, Kim Ja-in let out a cunning laugh in front of Stardust. She barely concealed her fury, her face contorted with rage. Minutes earlier, Kim Ja-in had pointed a finger at Stardust's face and said, I know what you're thinking right now. Even my subordinates who are controlling the broadcast have detonation capabilities. So don't even think about trying to overpower me with force. I created this stage specifically for you, Stardust. What do you think? Stardust immediately scoffed. You madman! Just release the innocent people, we can fight a bit, then you can capture me, and it'll be over. Kim Ja-in pointed at the camera with a mocking tone. Yes, of course we should release them. Those are the words of the hero of justice, Stardust. Focus, everyone. Look at me now. All right, now I will activate the hack for Elevator A in each observation deck. With that, Kim Ja-in snapped her fingers. Immediately, the large screen displayed the scene inside an elevator. Stardust realized internally, this can't end so easily. Countless people were frantically pressing the elevator buttons on the screen. Kim Ja-in's voice rang out again. Wait! If I release them now, where's the fun in that? That glowing descend button over there. Just press it, and the bomb in another observation deck will detonate. Simple, isn't it? Let's see, from now until the bomb detonates. There are 30 minutes left. Before then, quickly press descend. Hurry up! Kim Jae-in's face showed a cunning expression. They're complete strangers anyway, right? Witnessing this scene, Stardust could only grit her teeth and curse, "You wretch!" Kim Jae-in stood boldly in front of the camera and declared, "Today, right here, I will show everyone the ultimate depths of human selfishness. This is Egoistic's game." Sure enough, the people in the building began to argue. If they press it first, we'll perish miserably. But we have to live too, right? Once time runs out, it'll just detonate. She said there were 30 minutes left earlier. Does that mean you want to eliminate the people over there with just one button? Will they press it over there? There's no time to think like this. The bomb will detonate in a few tens of minutes. So what now? Will they press the button? Damn it, what is the hero doing right now? Stardust frowned, calculating. Even if she rushed to take him down in an instant, it would be useless if there were other detonators elsewhere. Damn it, if this continues, the hostages will... Her eyes turned cold as she asked, "Is it fun to toy with human lives like this?" Kim Jae-in was not to be outdone, glaring back and replying, "The fun isn't in that. One of South Korea's few A-rank heroes, someone who believes in justice and never compromises her convictions with evil. Honestly, I quite respect you." Stardust blushed slightly and retorted, "What nonsense are you spouting?" Kim Jae-in was amused internally. "I just wanted to praise you while the whole country is watching you on TV." Thinking this, he said disdainfully, "Seeing you in a helpless situation, unable to do anything. It's truly fascinating." Kim Jae-in flashed a chilling smile and pulled out the bomb switch. "I'm also giving you a chance to participate in the game. Now, I will connect you with those who are desperately waiting for a hero." Saying this, Kim Jae-in moved closer to the railing, seemingly intending to teleport. Stardust was bewildered. "What?" Kim Jae-in explained, "If you successfully persuade them, and no one presses the button within 30 minutes, the bomb will not detonate." Stardust was skeptical and disbelieving. "You want me to trust a scoundrel like you?" Kim Jae-in ignored her and added, "It's better than letting them helplessly stare at the sky, isn't it?" He pointed forward provocatively. "Come on, then." Kim Jae-in's countdown voice rang out. "Ready, 3, 2, 1, start." Standing below, looking up at the large screen, the citizens fearfully awaited Stardust's decision. After a moment of thought, she finally made a decision. "Hello, everyone. I am A-rank hero Stardust. Every person holds a unique belief in their heart." Kim Jae-in was satisfied. "That's right. This is exactly what I wanted. I will be portrayed in the public eye as a villain who causes terror, and she will shine. This is her stage, Stardust." Stardust clenched her fists, determined. "So that everyone can be proud of their choice today, let's show this wicked individual. We are strong, our faith is unwavering, we will never yield to evil. Thank you, everyone." Immediately after, the screen displayed a countdown of 5 seconds. All the citizens closed their eyes tightly, praying for themselves. Stardust also waited tensely every second. And so the clock slowly counted down to 0. Kim Jae-in timed it for this very moment. He immediately switched to a panicked, screaming voice. "Impossible! Wouldn't such selfish people rush out to save themselves? Impossible. It can't be. Surely, at least one person must have pressed the button, right? There must be a selfish person like me who pressed the button. Humans can't be this kind." "Why?" Stardust explained. "Egoistic. People aren't as selfish as you think. No one is completely altruistic, but I believe in the inherent goodness of people." Kim Jae-in looked at her in shock. "It's thanks to you you made them unite." He chuckled. "Interesting, isn't it, Stardust?" The moment Stardust was about to lunge at him, Kim Jae-in was ready to teleport. The next game will definitely... Before leaving, he couldn't help but marvel at Stardust. Her eyes were full of righteousness. The moment Stardust reached him, only Kim Jae-in's lingering voice could be heard. "I will win." The entire city seemed to erupt. Everyone joyfully embraced each other, crying with emotion. Below, countless citizens chanted Stardust's name. Meanwhile, Kim Jae-in finally returned. He collapsed onto the floor, groaning. "Oh my god, I'm dying." The deadly side effect of teleportation. Physical damage proportional to the distance teleported. Kim Jae-in moaned, "I'll probably be bedridden for days." Seo-eun approached from the front. "I told you not to wear that hat anymore." "How corny." Kim Jae-in pleaded, "Seo-eun, I'm really dying. Get me a glass of water." But Seo-eun coldly walked away in annoyance. "Get it yourself." Meanwhile, Stardust stood in midair, irritatedly clenching his fist and muttering to himself, "Playing with people's hearts, huh? Next time I'll definitely catch you." Egoistic. At the Korean Hero Association, a voice recounted the breaking news. Egoistic, an A-rank villain, just hijacked national television to challenge Stardust. The strange thing is that the incident resulted in no casualties. The Hero Association determined his ability is a combination of psychokinesis and teleportation. Stardust and others sat at the conference table, analyzing. Next is Egoistic's analysis file. On the screen, Kim Jae-in's information appeared. Egoistic villain information. Name, egoistic, gender, male, mask, identity obscuring function, predicted residence, Seoul. Let's begin the report. Park Joon-ho, chairman of the Korean Hero Association, announced. All right, we've seen this part many times. Moving on, the presenter began to recount. I will explain the details of yesterday's incident. First, it appears the perpetrator used their teleportation ability to pre-attach devices to the exterior of the building. After removal, it was confirmed to be a high-power homemade device with enough destructive force to obliterate the entire observation deck. It was identified as a high-performance homemade device. Joon-ho held his head and sighed. It seems he made this himself. Still no clues about the kidnapping? The stressed informant confirmed. Yes, how he bypassed modern security systems to broadcast remains a mystery. However, since no one with wave-related abilities has ever appeared before, we think it's highly likely he has an extremely skilled tech accomplice behind him. Joon-ho speculated, Accomplice A, there's a very high chance that person is the bomb maker. The informant frowned. There's one more thing I'd like to add. That he seems very obsessed with Stardust. He left messages targeting her at the crime scene, and in this case, it's also been confirmed that he directly mentioned her. Stardust, the A-rank hero in charge of Seoul. Joon-ho immediately turned to Stardust and asked, what was it like meeting him directly? Stardust sat there silently, not responding. She reported sternly, he's like someone with a psychological condition who enjoys toying with human hearts. Furthermore, he has the ability to orchestrate large-scale acts of terror. He is a truly dangerous villain. 2 days later, in Kim Jae-in's room, he lay on the bed groaning, "Oh my god, I'm dying." It was a while before Kim Jae-in could finally get up and rummage for a drink in the refrigerator. Suddenly, Seo-yoon walked over and shouted loudly, startling him and making him spit out the mouthful of water. "Brother, are you doing that again?" Kim Jae-in hurriedly explained, "It's not like that, Seo-yoon, I'm not doing that." He frowned, thinking to himself, "This girl keeps calling me brother like in the original story. In the future, she'll grow up to be an S-rank villain, a hacker genius. Well, that's in the original story, but now I've managed to keep her by my side." Seo-yoon annoyedly reproached, "This is my house. Don't act like it's yours." Kim Jae-in scratched his head, giving an awkward laugh. "Anyway, I'm paying for the living expenses and everything." Seo-yoon ignored him, crossing her arms unhappily. "Anyway, you should just shut up and drink, got it, brother?" Kim Jae-in wasn't angry at all. He gave a gentle smile and patted Seo-yoon's head. "All right, I get it." Suddenly, Seo-yoon blushed and quickly pulled Kim Jae-in away. "Something else has happened. Hurry up!" Into the server room. Seo-yoon explained, "Do you remember the girl named Lee Subin I mentioned before? She's an applicant to be our assistant." Kim Jae-in asked curiously, "The girl who operates on the deep web? It seems she's a fan of yours too." Seo-yoon pointed at the screen. "Look, she's here." The screen showed a group of people taking hostages, along with a reporter's narration. Followers of Egoistic are carrying out a hostage-taking act of terror in downtown Incheon. They have planted bombs in the building. Kim Jae-in was furious and confused. "What in the world? These lunatics, is that girl being held hostage here?" Seo-yoon nodded, confirming. "So what?" She quickly denied, "No, it's the girl wearing the mask." Seo-yoon said, pointing at the trembling girl on the screen. The voice from the TV announced, "Egoistic's followers declare no negotiations, only desiring terror and destruction." Police confirmed that there have been at least 3 fatalities from the act of terror so far, and approximately 300 hostages are still trapped in the building. Kim Jae-in's face darkened as he called out, "Seo-yoon, what is our principle?" Seo-yoon immediately replied, "Never, under any circumstances, take the lives of civilians." Kim Jae-in's eyes filled with deadly intent as he looked down. "We need to deal with them. Help me, Seo-yoon." Seo-yoon understood his meaning and immediately nodded. Kim Ja-in added, and that girl will observe the scene and make her deductions. Meanwhile, Stardust had arrived at the scene of the terror incident. She reported, Headquarters, I request permission to breach. Headquarters transmitted back, wait for orders. After the police complete final negotiations, you will be authorized to breach, with an order to neutralize if necessary. Stardust fumed inwardly. It's all because of that scoundrel Egoistic. Most previous acts of terror were specialties of superpowered villains. But this time, he didn't focus on superpowers. Instead, he used explosives and abductions as his main tactics to pressure the heroes. Clearly, his image of cornering us has inspired other ordinary people. She gritted her teeth, thinking, the very next day, copycat crimes started occurring. Suddenly, Stardust's earpiece emitted a sound. Stardust, Egoistic has appeared at the scene and is live streaming the events inside on YouTube. Check it immediately. Stardust was startled and confused. YouTube? She immediately opened her phone to check. A video showing Kim Ja-in appeared, with a flurry of comments from netizens constantly popping up. What is this? Is the villain Egoistic live streaming the terror incident? The world's #1 villain. The chat is full of lunatics. This is a crime scene. Ugh, as long as it's not me. Release Kim Sun-woo. Where's the moderation? Are they hijacking broadcasts again? Inside, as soon as the terrorists saw Kim Ja-in enter, they immediately aimed their weapons and shouted, "Who's there?" Suddenly their eyes froze. The terrorists immediately switched to a tone of admiration. Our hero Egoistic has descended to this very place. Egoistic. Egoistic. He's here, he's really here. He'll personally eliminate all these fools, just you watch. Kim Ja-in groaned inwardly. Oh my god, I used long-distance teleportation again, so my body is all sore. It's all because of these guys, damn it. The terrorists found his attitude a bit puzzling. Egoistic. Suddenly, Kim Ja-in burst out laughing. This is interesting. Seo Eun's voice came through the earpiece. 3 o'clock position. The guy standing by the pillar is holding the detonator. Kim Ja-in glanced around. Understood. In a flash. A terrorist was immediately shot through by him. They shouted in panic, "No, this person isn't Egoistic. He must be an undercover police officer." As soon as they finished speaking, the terrorists immediately aimed all their weapons at Kim Ja-in. However, he manipulated their guns, turning them back to point at themselves. Kim Ja-in sneered, "I've never had such foolish individuals as you as my subordinates." Immediately after, gunshots rang out incessantly. Seeing this scene, the comments section below the video continued to buzz. Huh, are they on the same side? Why did he take care of them all? Just eliminating them all like that? So satisfying to watch. Who is Egoistic and why is he so ruthless? Those crazy guys. People are perishing. What are the heroes doing? The villain has taken over. What will happen to those people? Is it a deranged individual wanting to eliminate everyone? Even just looking at the back of Egoistic's head, he seems handsome, doesn't he? There are really a lot of crazy people here, and this is a real situation, everyone. Headquarters on this side immediately issued an order to Stardust. Stardust, you are cleared to proceed. The top priority is to ensure the safety of the hostages from both the terrorists and Egoistic. Stardust rushed forward, shouting loudly, "Confirmed!" Back inside, Kim Ja-in was pointing a gun at the girl Seo Eun had mentioned. Seo Eun's voice echoed, "Brother, save her! From what I've confirmed, she was dragged out and coerced by those fanatics. She's not involved with the terrorists." The girl huddled tightly in the corner, crying out incessantly, "Help!" Kim Ja-in approached, snatching off her mask. He demanded, "Did you do anything wrong? Yes or no?" Lee Subin choked out between sobs, "All right, I admit my fault. All right, I admit my fault." Her demeanor caused the entire room to fall silent. Kim Ja-in raised his gun, threatening, "If you keep crying like that, you'll be shot." Subin's face went pale as she quickly covered her mouth. After speaking, Kim Ja-in turned and bowed deeply in apology before the hostages. "I apologize. Although I didn't cause this directly, I feel a great responsibility for the imitative actions that stemmed from my situation." The crowd in the comments section buzzed, "What's this? Is he really a villain? Hey, wait, what exactly is happening?" Kim Ja-in continued, "To the hostages and everyone affected by me, I will send compensation money to your accounts. Please check them. I offer my deepest apologies to the 3 individuals who lost their lives. I will pay the highest possible compensation." He thought to himself, "Oh dear, transfers from anonymous accounts are too easy to trace. I don't know, Seo Eun will handle it, right?" On the other side, Seo Yun could only sigh and remind him, "Brother, take her back now." With that said, Kim Ja-in immediately hoisted Subin onto his shoulder. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his entire body. The effects of the displacement made him tremble. Just as he thought that, another jolt suddenly occurred. Kim Ja-in opened his eyes wide in shock. Right before his eyes, Stardust had arrived at Yeonhee University, in front of the coffee shop downstairs. A news article had just been published on the front page with the headline, "Villain takes responsibility with monetary compensation. Public in chaos. Verifying hostage accounts no easy feat. What kind of person is he? In-depth investigation." A girl sitting at a table near the door was absorbed in her phone. Her finger scrolled through the comments under the article. Who is Mango Stick now? Mango Stick sounds even more legendary. Does Mango Stick only save women? She was Shin Haru, a university student, currently rubbing her forehead and letting out a long sigh. The moment Stardust plunged down from the building's rooftop, aftershocks and dust erupted as if the heavens and earth trembled. Egoistic was momentarily surprised for a few seconds. She glared at him with intense resentment. "Egoistic, you jerk." Her heart burned with fierce determination. This time, she would definitely capture him. With that thought, Stardust directly charged towards him. Just as she reached him, Egoistic crouched down to evade. This caused Stardust to lose her momentum, and her heart wavered slightly. Oh my! She quickly sprang up from the floor. Just remembering that moment, Haru would run her hands through her hair in frustration and could only sigh. Suddenly, a girl approached and gently spoke. "Hazu, what's wrong? Is the homework too difficult?" She was Kim Chae-hyun, Haru's senior. As soon as she looked up, she politely replied, "Oh, it's nothing, sis. I'm fine, just a little distracted." Stardust, South Korea's A-rank hero, true name Shin Haru. As a hero, she concealed her identity with a perception-altering filter, so everyone thought she was just a normal student named Shin Haru. No, perhaps she wasn't entirely normal. Anyway, lately, she had been worried about something. It was that she hated muttering a name under her breath. Egoistic. Everyone is selfish. But why did he save the hostage? While she was deep in thought, Chae-hyun suddenly reached out and pinched her cheek. "Look at you, making a sad face again. Let's put the homework aside. Let's go eat mango bingsu, Haru's favorite." As soon as she heard about her favorite dish, her eyes lit up and she exclaimed, "Mango!" A fleeting image of Egoistic's arrogant, mocking smile suddenly flashed through her mind, making Haru so angry she ground her teeth. Seeing her displeased expression, Chae-hyun was startled again. Even mango can't fix it? No way. At this point, she was so angry she snapped the pen in her hand and hissed, "Mango is mine!" This immediately made Chae-hyun tremble in fear and compromise. "All right, the mango is yours, all yours." Her heart blazed with fury. That name, Mango Stick, no, Egoistic, has possessed my mind. I will definitely make him reveal himself. Despite her annoyance, the moment Chae-hyun brought the spoon of ice cream to her mouth, she immediately ate it, which made her secretly think, so cute. In the heart of Seoul, where a villain is obsessed with a hero, stands a very ordinary-looking house. But when the main door opens next to the entrance, there's another door. When the second door opens, it's quite a surprise. An elevator appears. After entering the elevator and inputting the code, the door closes and the elevator begins to descend. Dozens of underground floors. The destination is Egoistic's base, where Kim Ja-in is lying in a glass case, talking endlessly. It's called Ego Base for short. Seo Yun couldn't help but look up and ask, "Bro, why are you just naming other people's houses like that?" He excitedly explained, "Seo Yun, there's no distinction between whose house is whose between us, right? Your house is my house, and my house is your house." She closed her book and exclaimed, "What the heck? That's utterly absurd." The moment he moved his leg, his knee immediately felt a painful sensation. Kim Ja-in clutched his leg and cried out dramatically, which annoyed Seo Yun a bit. "Bro, stop talking nonsense. Lying still is the fastest way to recover, so don't make a fuss." He said pitifully, "Don't say anything more because I just teleported while carrying someone else, so I'm twice as tired." Little did she know that in that moment, Kim Ja-in softly whispered, "Han Seo-yun, the one with superhuman intelligence." She didn't pay attention and picked up her book again. Where was I? His soul was now immersed in happiness. Although the reason for recruiting her as an assistant wasn't this, the fatigue recovery capsule is truly the best. He gave a thumbs up and she grumbled again. What now? Suddenly, the elevator door opened again. Subin walked in and hesitantly spoke. I'm home. Because the fridge was empty, so I was wondering if anyone wanted some snacks. Kim Jae-in was startled. Aren't you a wanted person? She pulled her hair over half her face and innocently replied, I covered my face completely before going out. He said helplessly, That's even more suspicious. Seo-eun, who was sitting on the bed, quickly folded her book and scurried over, calling, Malona. He was momentarily stunned, thinking, Is she telling me to recruit someone to help out? He immediately appeared near her and asked in a low voice, Why did you tell me to bring this person? She calmly replied, I just wanted to ask them for a little help. Kim Jae-in, startled, began to protest. What? That should only be considered before someone becomes an extremist. Are you against bringing a person with such intentions to Seo-eun's home? Can you guarantee she won't cause harm in our house? She exhaled, patiently explaining, That's not going to happen. And this person has no intention of engaging in extremist activities. She was practically forced out by your subordinates. Seo-eun turned to talk to her. Sister, no, brother, sister, you're Lee Subin, right? The woman looked surprised. How do you know my name? She calmly continued, I know everything, Sister Lee Subin. Your parents are both researchers for the Han-eun Corporation, aren't they? The woman's face immediately paled. How do you know? Seo-eun casually dropped her ice cream stick and approached seriously. I've read your articles on the deep web. Those shielding programs have many loopholes. Sister, do you want to seek retribution? Han-eun Corporation, do you just want to seek retribution for what they did to your parents? I'm looking for the leaders of Han-eun Corporation. I've also suffered a great deal. We have to find those scoundrels. Only by bringing them to justice will I feel at peace. Sister, will you help me? Kim Jae-in's eyebrows furrowed. Only then did he understand. So that's it. That girl was also a victim of Han-eun, just like Seo-eun. When I wanted Seo-eun to be my first assistant, I also convinced her by promising to help her seek retribution. Of course, my goal was to prevent her from becoming an S-rank antagonist later, but anyway, I had no impression of this Lee Subin in the original story, so she's probably just a minor character. That might be proof she's harmless, but I need to see if she can help me first. While he was deep in thought, he suddenly froze, watching the two girls hug and burst into tears. They emotionally called out each other's names through their sobs. Sister, Seo-eun! He wondered, am I the only one not keeping up with the emotions? Seo-eun, Seo-eun, your cool image is shattered. He silently watched them for a moment. Then he calmly closed his eyes. Well, I'll just lie still. At a luxurious European-style restaurant. Everyone around looked uncomfortably at a girl who was quietly weeping. Her voice choked out, How could you do this to me? Ha-chun grumbled, cursing. You're ruining my appetite. Hey, I'm confessing my feelings to you. Why do you look so sad? Just then, the restaurant door burst open. The police officer approached his table. We have a clear report of an assault. Please come with me to the station. He grumbled like a madman. Confound it! Let me eat a bit, then get lost. Just as the officer placed a hand on his shoulder, Ha-chun replied, All right, I'll consider this a complete arrest. Then his body and the officer's began to blur. He was suddenly teleported to the rooftop of a tall building. The officer, stunned, only managed to hear him excitedly say, Are we going to the station together? He kicked the officer straight down. All right, but let me send you off first. The officer fell, screaming desperately. He stood there, a savage look on his face, gazing down. Who do you think you are to defy me, you fake cop? A-rank villain Kim Ha-chun, the space transporter? Seo-eun's voice echoed through the desolate city. Did you think if you eliminated me, this world would change? Stardust City. Han Seo-eun, S-rank villain, the White Witch. The tense situation was suddenly interrupted by a grumbling voice. Brother, you drank all my orange juice again, didn't you? At this moment, she was just Han Seo-eun, 16 years old, who loved orange juice. Subin, washing dishes, said gently, Seo-eun, I'm sorry, I drank it. I'll buy you another one. She ran and hugged her from behind. She sweetly said, It's okay, sis. Kim Jae-in clicked his tongue in annoyance. For me, it's different. And Seo-eun, have you finally stopped pretending to be a boy? She was slightly stunned, frowning and embarrassed. Seo-eun pouted and yelled, You! This only made him burst out laughing with delight. Later, Subin and Seo-eun were working intently under the supercomputer array. Kim Ja-in stood observing from the side, thinking to himself, Han Seo-eun, with her superintelligence, is the sole survivor of the Kai Hoa project carried out by the Han-eun Corporation, where hundreds of children were subjected to illegal experiments. One day, one child developed unexpected complications. All those involved perished, except for Seo-eun. Afterwards, with a body full of injuries, she escaped from the research facility, then hid in a basement and built the hideout she has now, living in solitude like that for many years, until I found her. He carelessly knocked over the chair beside him. Seo-eun immediately pointed a fork at him, full of caution. He simply asked softly, "Don't you want to get retribution against them?" "I also need your help, Han Seo-eun." Her entire body remained extremely tense. She did not respond. He gently extended his hand, his voice firm. "I didn't come to harm you. I came to save you." In the original story, because she harbored resentment, Seo-eun later became an S-class antagonist and lost her life. I feel so sorry for her. I promise I won't let her fall into the path of villainy again. But now that she's become my accomplice, does that still count as being an antagonist? Anyway, let's stay on the right path. As he was thinking, Seo-eun suddenly turned, waved her hand and said, "What are you looking at? You don't understand anything, so why bother looking?" Kim Ja-in didn't respond, her mind still wandering. As for Subin, both her parents were researchers, but they've both passed away. She self-studied and got into a prestigious university, majoring in computer engineering, so later she'll probably be in charge of assisting Seo-eun with hacking. Even though she's someone I've never met and find a bit suspicious, I have to admit her cooking skills are top-notch. Suddenly, Seo-eun exclaimed, "Hey, it's done, the external tracking sensor." He carefully took it with both hands and asked, "What's the tracker for?" She clicked her tongue impatiently and said, "Did you forget what we do? It's for the name on the villain list you chose. Kim Ha-chun, Class A villain, the teleporter." Kim Ja-in stared wide-eyed at the text screen. He's the teleporter? This guy can teleport infinitely over short distances without any drawbacks. He can't be restrained by kinetic force. He's incredibly tough. Seo-eun burst out laughing. "The tougher the opponent, the sooner we have to deal with them." He sighed, his voice low and trembling. "Can you understand how exhausting it is for me to teleport constantly?" She excitedly patted his back and ordered, "Get to work, Egoistic." Outside, the gentle sunlight shone down on the small house. Egoistic stood on the rooftop of the building and began to communicate. "Seo-eun, I'm in, right?" On the other end of the line, an urgent voice rang out. "What? You're still not in? Get in there!" He irritably spoke loudly into the comms. "Is it really okay to just teleport directly into the living room? What if he's there?" Seo-eun sighed wearily. "How many times have I told you? You fire a bullet with the tracking device attached. Even if he avoids the bullet by teleporting, the tracker will still stick." He asked curiously, "What? Why?" She explained, "Because I made it faster than a bullet. You're a humanities major, so you wouldn't understand even if I explained it. Just go in." Egoistic awkwardly replied with a nonchalant tone, "Wouldn't it be faster if we just dealt with him on the street?" From the other end of the line, her voice clearly screamed, "He never goes out on the street. He only uses teleportation. I've already researched and prepared this plan. Good heavens, I'm so impatient." Out of breath, Seo-eun picked up a large water bottle and chugged it down. Subin beside her shyly mumbled encouragement. "Egoistic, you can do it." She was a little embarrassed but followed suit. "Egoistic, you can do it." He smirked confidently. "All right, thanks, let's begin." Egoistic directly teleported to Ha-chun's house just as he was inside. He stared, wide-eyed, turning to look at him with suspicion. Immediately, Seo-eun urged through the earpiece, "Go on, shoot!" He raised 2 pistols, his voice mysterious. Really, a bullet and a small chip were fired. Suddenly, he vanished, 2 bullets lodging straight into the wall. He was startled and quickly informed the other side. "Damn it! Missed him, Seo-eun. Did the tracking sensor stick?" She checked the screen and quickly said, "It's stuck, Subin. Report his location." She immediately searched and reported, "Currently, he's 500 mer east from here." Without hesitation, he immediately took action. As soon as he jumped onto the street, people around him gathered, murmuring, "Who is that guy?" While he was still bewildered, "What's going on?" They recognized him. "Isn't that Egoistic? It really is him." He started to feel a bit awkward. Damn it, this situation wasn't in the plan. Someone quickly grabbed a live stream device, and as they broadcasted, comments exploded. Egoistic appears in the city center. Egoistic villain live 5 minutes ago. What the heck, are you filming and going to perish? Run! It's a cool guy's characteristic to always film the crime scene. Meanwhile, in lecture hall A303, students in the class were attending a lecture when an urgent announcement suddenly blared in Haru's ear. Egoistic has appeared in the city. Superhero Stardust City, prepare to deploy under orders from the association. She stood up abruptly in shock and exclaimed, "What?" Realizing her strange behavior, she grabbed her small bag and softly said, "Excuse me, everyone, that was rude." She soared across the rooftops, her mind racing. What scheme is he up to this time? Egoistic. Meanwhile, Sayo-eun cautiously spoke to him. "Sir, over there, right at the intersection ahead." Seeing Ha-chun clutching his arm and trying to hide, he wondered, was he hit by a bullet? Just as the traffic light turned red, Egoistic immediately blocked his path, telling himself, "Never mind, just go for it." Suddenly, over the comms, a pale Seo-yoon screamed, "Mr. Kim Ja-in!" The truck. He watched in stunned silence as it sped towards him. That night, the malicious voices of several men on the bridge echoed. "Hey, Kim Ha-chun! You felt pretty good, didn't you, when you defaulted on our money and ran away?" He was tied up tightly and hung upside down under the bridge, his voice trembling as he pleaded, "I'll pay it back. Please, spare me. I'll pay it back." A guy on the bridge furiously pressed a glowing red cigarette butt directly onto the rope and cursed, "I don't need it anymore." He desperately screamed, "No, don't! I was wrong. Please, just spare me this one time." The rope burned through and Ha-chun fell, screaming piteously. At that very moment, his hatred reached its peak. "Damn it, you wretched scoundrels! I curse you all to perish!" Then he fell into the water, making a loud splash. Unexpectedly, at that moment, magic awakened and teleported him onto the bridge. The thugs saw Ha-chun and were stunned. What? Even he couldn't believe his eyes. What? Immediately, they shouted to each other, "Catch him! Get him!" He was dazed for a moment, then muttered to himself, "This power. So now no one in the world can catch me anymore. No one can." Just as the creditors lunged at him from all four directions, he instantly teleported, causing them to crash into each other. Meanwhile, a truck braked sharply, emitting a screeching sound. The vehicle stopped abruptly right before the pedestrian crossing. The driver startled and screamed when he saw Egoistic teleport into the driver's cabin. Ha-chun, enraged, muttered curses, "Blast it!" My calculations were perfect, yet he still avoided it. Damn it! Then, from the middle of the road, he temporarily escaped onto the balconies of a nearby house. He suppressed the pain and thought to himself, it truly is egoistic. Could it be that he didn't eliminate those two villains due to personal vendetta? Clearly, he and I have nothing to do with each other. Below, Egoistic's pleasant voice spoke up. Yes, I'm busy working, so I can't talk much. Oh my, don't be afraid, I won't harm anyone. Now, go to your doom, you A-rank teleporting villain." Seeing that he had been spotted, Ha-chun thought in horror. Could it be that he specializes in hunting down villains and eliminating them all? Egoistic pursued him, saying, "Trash belongs in the trash can. Villains must be erased from existence. Come on, come here." A piece of trash. "I've cleaned up today." Seeing him cling relentlessly, he cursed under his breath. Damn it. Why can I still hear that guy's voice in my ear? Ha-chun unceremoniously pushed a passerby down to escape. Just as her head was about to hit the ground, he quickly caught her. Oh my. Is this young lady all right? Yes. On this side, he was almost exhausted, blood dripping with every step. He wondered why it had to be him. Then he collapsed before dozens of surrounding gazes. At this moment, he approached and declared loudly, "A-rank villain, the teleporter. You have confessed your crimes." Ha-chun used his last bit of strength to argue back. Damn it, you're a villain yourself. He spoke just loud enough for him to hear. But at least I'm not as cowardly as you. Then Egoistic turned to the passers-by and said, "Everyone, this piece of trash has stolen tens of billions in assets and also taken the lives of 4 innocent people. Those people were someone's husband, father, friend, son. Do you want to spare this cold-blooded perpetrator?" Immediately, everyone present shouted, "Eliminate him! That's right! Eliminate him! Eliminate him! Eliminate him!" He roared ferociously. "You curs! How are you any different from me when you call for elimination?" He subtly curled his lips into a smile and thought, Ha-chun, Your greatest crime is actually that you will later become an S-rank villain, ending the lives of hundreds of people, and tormenting Stardust countless more times. Then he spoke in a serious tone. Do you mean those two things are the same? I'm sorry, but it seems you must perish here. A gunshot rang out and blood splattered onto the road. Egoistic looked up, slightly surprised. All the onlookers who had been watching cheered and applauded. He was momentarily stunned. What was this? They had just witnessed someone being taken down. Shouldn't people be screaming in fear? This world, apart from having superpowers, wasn't much different from his own. But it was in moments like these that he truly realized he was in another world. The people here were truly baffling. He stood up and pulled his hat down. Then he respectfully bowed to all of them like a gentleman. Then his deep voice resonated. But I'm the villain. Aren't you all afraid? Even though he had pulled out his gun and threatened them, they only looked at him with slight apprehension. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed from somewhere. Egoistic. He recognized it immediately. Stardust. Blast, he'd drawn too much attention for too long. Stardust quickly landed. She yelled loudly, "You wretch Egoistic!" Instead of tensing up, his eyes lit up and his cheeks flushed slightly. Normally, she was just a somewhat aloof college student, but when she became a hero, her voice changed just like in historical dramas. Absolutely adorable. She asked sternly, "What have you done?" He replied arrogantly, "What have I done? I just dealt with a wicked A-rank villain who was harming people and robbing banks. I merely did what a hero needed to do." Stardust was furious, unable to retort, "You!" He put on a provocative expression and said, "Did I do anything wrong? An A-rank villain can be judged by a hero on the spot, can't they?" She immediately stated bluntly, "Egoistic, do you think you're a hero?" But he innocently replied, "I am a villain." But suddenly, he paused slightly as he thought. With this many people here, there must be a lot of them filming and cheering for Stardust, right? This place is crowded. Perfect. Egoistic immediately changed his demeanor. That's right, Stardust. For a villain like me to punish evildoers is indeed against the rules. But I truly admire your unyielding sense of justice. Perhaps I should retreat today. With just a few words from him, public opinion quickly shifted. That's right, are villains only allowed to fight heroes? What he said sounds really impressive. After all, you arrived late, didn't you? You didn't even apprehend the time traveler. Honestly, Egoistic didn't do anything wrong. He froze again for a few seconds. What? Something feels off. From the other end of the line, Seo Yoon also grew impatient and urged him. Brother, stop rambling, let's go. Egoistic, flustered, waved his hands and feet, trying to explain. No, I didn't mean I was right. I'll continue doing evil deeds. And Stardust, you can just stop me. Well then, that's enough for today, he said, then hastily vanished before Stardust. Everyone around started leaving. We should go too, shouldn't we? Let's go. The onlookers gradually dispersed, leaving only Stardust standing there with Ha-chun's body. She approached him. Her eyes held an indescribable sorrow. Meanwhile, Egoistic had just teleported to the base. He collapsed, and Seo Yoon had to rush over, calling out, Sister Subin, over here, quickly! She awkwardly stepped forward, asking what was wrong, while helping him up and explaining the side effects of teleportation. The two of them grabbed his arms, getting ready. All right, 1, 2. But suddenly, the phone in his pocket vibrated. A newly received article was published with the headline, Heroes and Villains, Free Forum, Popularity Poll. Who likes the cool older brother Mango Stick more than the old-fashioned Aunt Stardust? I guess it's me. Likes, 1380, dislikes 28. Comments, 87. As night fell, a figure still sat atop the building. She silently read today's article. KPS News, Egoistic acts, A-rank villain Kim Ha-chun, the teleporter, has been eliminated. Villain Kim Ha-chun found deceased at the scene of the terrorist attack. Terrorism erupts in the heart of Seoul. The A-rank villain Kim Ha-chun, whom even heroes hadn't managed to touch, has been defeated. The newly emerging villain Egoistic appeared in the heart of the city around 3 p.m. today in the new terrorist incident. Stardust put her phone down and huddled up. She bowed her head slightly, silently consumed by her sorrow. The scene was dark, enveloped by a heavy downpour. Shin Haru, only 17 at the time, sat beside her parents' bodies, sobbing, "No, Mom, Dad!" The individual then closed the notebook and said sarcastically, "You should have obediently handed this over. Blame your foolish parents." As he spoke, he pointed a weapon at her. But Shin Haru wasn't afraid at all. Instead, She glared directly at him. He seemed surprised and momentarily froze. Then he curled his lips into a smile. How lucky. How very lucky, wouldn't you say? After speaking, he tossed the cigarette in his hand. Then he turned his back and slowly walked away in the opposite direction. On this side, Shinharu slammed her fist onto the stone ground. She trembled with anger, sobbing. If only I had the strength to protect Mom and Dad. Mom, Dad, I will make that wretch pay. And so she stayed by her parents' side all night, drenched in the rain. Suddenly, something flashed brightly in the sky. The light grew stronger and stronger, then cast a powerful beam of light downwards. Seemingly sensing it too, Shinharu also turned her head. Behind the building, the light was still shining just as brightly. It continued to illuminate the entire area. Shinharu's entire body was lifted and slowly began to glow. At the same time, in another place, Kim Ja-in was awakened by the light, squinting and letting out a few sounds. Han Seo-in's voice spoke up simultaneously. "You're awake?" He asked back, bewildered. Seo-un. Without hesitation, she immediately made herself comfortable and said with a smile, "Here, eat while you listen." Summary of facts about the A-rank villain Egoistic. Egoistic eliminated A-rank villain Live and eliminated A-rank villain Zodiac for the already weary Korean citizens. He even orchestrated and contained special situations at the observatory without casualties. At the same time, he also contained the fanatics who caused disturbances and terrorized hostages, and then paid compensation to the hostages. The A-rank villain, the teleporter, had been hiding for a long time. Despite a bounty being offered, officials assessed his capture as extremely difficult. Truly, Egoistic doesn't look like a villain at all. Likes 742, dislikes 12. What do you think? After hearing that, Kim Ja-in hurriedly asked back, And what about Stardust? Han Seo-in looked displeased when that name was mentioned. She pouted and let out a sigh. Oh, Stardust? Look at the comments right below this. Actually, Egoistic surpasses Stardust. Stardust hasn't done anything so far. King Ego has already taken down 3 A-rank villains. Hearing that, Kim Ja-in was immediately stunned into silence. So, why is Stardust being criticized? Han Seo-un then explained, perhaps it's because among the 3 A-rank heroes, she's the least active. In reality, Shadow Walker or Icicle have single-handedly saved dozens, even hundreds of people, while Stardust hasn't accomplished much, and that's how people are reacting. Kim Ja-in still seemed unconvinced. He hesitantly asked again, is that mostly the case? Han Seo-in hummed and then continued. Meanwhile, Egoistic even has a proper fan club. Hearing that, Kim Ja-in was even more horrified. He clutched his head and exclaimed, No, no way! These crazy people! What kind of villain fan club is this? After that, he stood up again, slowly walking while saying, All right, I can't let this stand. Let's start preparing for the next incident, Seo-in Subin. You two can do it, right? Hearing that, Han So-un was immediately startled. Again? Lee Subin also exclaimed, Me? Kim Ja-in immediately stood up straight and enthusiastically declared, Anyway, I have to let the Korean people know what a true villain is and who a true hero is. He also thought to himself, Just wait, Stardust, I'll bring you back to the top. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Elsewhere, Shinharu was eating dessert. After taking a bite, she couldn't help but murmur, This mango bingsu is absolutely delicious. Then, immediately after, she realized something. Outside, petals were falling in profusion, creating a beautiful scene. At this moment, she couldn't help but recall those sarcastic remarks. Being such a great hero, huh? Only showing up after the job is done? You might not even catch that teleporter. She sighed as she remembered, thinking to herself, people are more enthusiastic about Egoistic, who defeats villains, than heroes who only give light punishments. I've done my best, so why am I still being criticized like this? No, snap out of it, she thought, giving herself a slap on the face. Just then, a voice spoke up. Haru, why are you slapping yourself? She turned around, exclaiming in surprise, Sister, over there! Kim Chae-hyun walked over and sat down, smiling as she said, The weather's so nice, let's rest for a bit. Shinharu smiled back. Yes, since when have the cherry blossoms been in full bloom like this? Kim Chae-hyun then asked, Oh, that reminds me, do you want to go see this? It's really popular these days, but I bet Haru doesn't know about it. What do you think, isn't it amusing? On her screen was an article about Egoistic's official fan club. The Mango Club, she added. I think Egoistic has been quite captivating lately. Seeing this, Shinharu couldn't help but be startled. Even Senior Chae-hyun likes him. Then Kim Chae-hyun seemed to discover something else and exclaimed, "What's this?" "Haru, Egoistic is streaming live right now." Hearing this, she couldn't help but be startled, exclaiming, "What?" The voice from the phone began to play. "Egoistic is targeting Stardust again this time. Return to the association immediately and deploy to the scene." Immediately after, she shot up, slammed her hand on the table and said, "Sister Chae-hyun, I have something urgent so I have to leave now. Sorry." Seeing her hurriedly leave, Kim Chae-hyun quickly turned to watch her go, calling out loudly, "Haru!" In her heart, Shinharu secretly resolved, "Just you wait, Egoistic, this time I will definitely catch you." Elsewhere, Egoistic was standing on a cliff beside the train tracks. He went live online, smiling as he spoke. "Long time no see, everyone. I am the villain Egoistic." He secretly wondered, what will the reaction be? On the chat screen, countless comments began to pop up. "He's live, Egoistic is on." Just when I was bored, a super fun event appeared. What crazy stunt is he planning today? Ahem, let's go, Mango Stick. Seeing this, he couldn't help but sigh. This is crazy. Do they see this as some kind of surprise event or something? He raised his phone, pointing it towards the camera, and excitedly said, "There's been a lot of news about me lately, huh? I'm not a hero, I'm a villain. I even have a fan club. Perhaps you're all misunderstanding, aren't you? I am a villain." As he spoke, he tossed his phone high into the air. It showed a terrifying sight. 6 people tied up, gagged, and lying on the train tracks. Egoistic added, "The train is almost here." The camera immediately panned to the oncoming train. The comment screen filled with countless question marks. Egoistic then asked, "Are you watching, Stardust?" A comment appeared. "He's still a true fan of Egoistic, isn't he?" Egoistic continued, "The rules are simple. You choose. Remain in place to save one person over 5, or sacrifice one person for the many. If you pull the lever, one person will perish. Don't think too quickly now. If you try to pull these people off the tracks, I'll derail the train immediately. Understand, Stardust? You only have one choice, and that is to pull the lever." As he finished speaking, Stardust's voice rang out. "You scoundrel, Egoistic!" His voice seemed a little pleased. "So you've arrived, Stardust." No sooner had he finished than Stardust appeared, punching the ground with immense power. She looked towards the 6 people tied to the tracks, thinking to herself, if she tried to save them, then the passengers on the train would be in danger. Think, Stardust, how can everyone be saved? Seeing her hesitate like that, Egoistic immediately urged, Come on, come on! The Pentacuse train is approaching the station. What will our Stardust choose?" Comments popped up continuously. "She definitely has to pull the lever. If she pulls the lever, Stardust will become a killer. If she stands still, she's innocent. Pulling the lever means taking lives with her own hands. From a utilitarian perspective, pulling the lever saves 4 people, so just pull it. Thank you for watching." He let out a silent sigh. Sure enough, everyone thought Stardust would pull the lever, but I believe the Stardust I know isn't that kind of person. Meanwhile, on the train, Lee Subin was screaming in panic. "Kim Jae-in! The train is heading straight for me. What do I do?" It turned out Stardust was currently hurtling towards the train at an astonishing speed. Egoistic thought to himself, "It's a live broadcast, so I should mute the mic first." Then he relayed a message to Lee Subin. "Don't worry, she won't come to harm you, Subin. Keep moving forward." Though she was worried to the point of tears, she still replied, "Yes." Egoistic thought to himself again, "Now, unmute the mic." He immediately clutched his head, screaming in panic. How can this be happening? What is Stardust doing? Can she really do that? She'll be obliterated. Stardust, why are you rushing into self-destruction? Stop it! Comments immediately erupted in laughter. This guy is truly cold on the outside, warm on the inside. At this moment, Stardust had rushed forward, using her hands to push directly against the front of the train. She was using all her strength to stop the train from moving forward. She gritted her teeth, telling herself, just hold on a little longer. Several screeching sounds echoed, and the train seemed to be slowly coming to a halt. But the train was still moving. Stardust couldn't help but be surprised. Is its speed increasing? Immediately, Egoistic was startled. He quickly spoke into the mic. Subin, Ms. Subin, wake up! He couldn't help but panic. He hadn't prepared for this. At this moment, the train was still moving, and Stardust was still pushing with all her might. Blocking the train from moving further, Egoistic covered his face with his hat and smiled. Good. Everything is going exactly according to plan. Before that, he had casually walked over and embraced a woman, then slowly placed her on the tracks. He couldn't help but sigh to himself. So tiring. If not for Shadow Walker, working at night would probably be more comfortable. Preparing for daytime schemes really requires paying attention to so many things. But then also tied her up tightly. Having finished, he teleported onto the cliff. Then he thought to himself, I'm a little proud. In the original story, Stardust would struggle after encountering villains, but in return, she would grow stronger. So if I eliminate the villains beforehand to help her, she would lose the opportunity to grow. He used his hand to write something on the ground, then flashed a smug smile. Consider this a special physical training zone just for you. Returning to the present, seeing Stardust flying towards the train, Egoistic immediately called out, "What are you doing? You'll be utterly destroyed if you do that, Stardust." The crowd immediately posted countless comments, clearly creating a dilemma, and yet she's going to sacrifice herself. Those crazy people, if Stardust perishes, then we can't gloat either. Stardust is in charge of the Seoul area, but I don't live in Seoul, so it doesn't concern me. Yeah, as long as it's not me. Egoistic hesitated to reply. This wasn't my intention. But deep down, he was secretly laughing to himself because it really was his intention. Crash! Stardust had rushed forward and pushed hard against the front of the train. Egoistic observed from above. He thought to himself, her abilities, both muscle strength and flying capability, were still lacking by about 2%. She was still only a hero close to A rank, so stopping this train might be beyond her capabilities. But there was one characteristic about her that others didn't know. That was, when facing danger, her power would explode powerfully. So she could completely stop this. Several creaking sounds rang out. The train also slowly came to a stop. But suddenly, the train's speed increased again. Egoistic couldn't help but be startled. Could the train's speed increase even more? He quickly spoke into the walkie-talkie. "Subin, Miss Subin, wake up." He was extremely panicked. I didn't foresee this. Could it be if the people tied to the tracks perish, then, even if it's a path paved with flowers, Stardust's image as a brave superhero will surely be ruined. What should I do? At this moment, the train's speed was still increasing, and Stardust was straining with all her might to push. Her arms were straining with all their strength, and her legs were also trying to hold firm. She let out a roar, then once again pushed with all her might. Up above, Egoistic was also extremely worried. Please, please, please. Please, I beg you. Suddenly, Egoistic was startled. The train had stopped just before running over the 5 people. Seeing that, he could finally smile. It's stopped. They've temporarily escaped this deadlock. Come on, appear, Stardust. Will she be okay? The train was too fast. Could she have perished? Could it be? But as the dust and smoke cleared, Stardust's face reappeared still as defiant as before. Seeing this, Egoistic couldn't contain his joy and jumped up and down. Yes, but immediately corrected himself. No, no, she blocked it. She managed to block it. Did she really endure that? My plan wasn't like this, but she found her own way to resolve the dilemma. That's right. But the people in the comments were all saying, why are they cheering for ES? I already guessed it when he wrote Stardust's name after defeating the villain. Turns out he likes Stardust more than anyone. ES? Oh no, Egoistic is so adorable. Oh, but can Stardust really endure that? How can she withstand it? She's not an ordinary person, she's a hero. All those who criticize Stardust, come out and apologize now. Stardust, Stardust. Seeing this, Egoistic immediately smiled with satisfaction. Yes, this reaction is perfect. See? This is the hero named Stardust. See how her power explodes, fueled by her immense desire to save people. But at that very moment, Stardust's body suddenly swayed, then collapsed right there. That couldn't help but startle Egoistic. Immediately, he used his teleportation ability to appear beside Stardust. But before losing consciousness, Stardust only mumbled, "That scoundrel, Egoistic." Egoistic remained silent, not responding. A moment later, he spoke. All right, Stardust. You did very well in a way I never imagined. This is your victory. I'm leaving now. Rest well. Soon, other heroes will come to assist you. As he spoke, he gently closed her eyes. Once she was fully asleep, he slowly withdrew his hand. After standing up, Egoistic stood before the camera and politely bowed. Yes, my act of terror concludes here. Thank you all for watching. An anonymous user immediately posted a comment. What's with the suggestive vibe between those two? A moment later, at Kim Ja-in's base, Han Seo-eun ran in, shouting loudly, Wake up! Wake up now, you sleepyheads! Kim Ja-in and Lee Soo-bin emerged, looking groggy. They spoke in turns. Oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. Good morning, Seo-eun. Han Seo-eun stood with her hands on her hips and asked, It was just one terror event. Why is everyone so worn out? Come on. As she spoke, she pointed towards a sumptuous meal on the table. Lee Subin's eyes immediately lit up. Seo-eun, did you prepare this? Kim Ja-in also patted her head. Thank you, Seo-eun. Though she enjoyed the gesture, she feigned indifference, furrowing her brows as she replied, It's nothing. She then gave his shoulder a hard pinch before moving to sit down. Seriously, she ordered. Eat quickly, it'll get cold. Kim Ja-in could only sigh. Honestly. Well then, enjoy your meal, everyone. Everyone immediately picked up their chopsticks and began to feast heartily. With just one bite, their faces instantly lit up. Han Seo-eun suddenly remembered something. She immediately reached for the TV remote. She hopped onto the sofa and suggested, Let's watch the latest news. Let's see how our achievements from yesterday were reported. As soon as she turned it on, the anchor's voice announced, Next up in the news. Kim Ja-in confidently said, My image as a villain must have been deeply ingrained by now. He secretly thought, Of course, Stardust also soared to fame in one go. 2 goals achieved with one effort. Hearing him say that, Han Seo-eun immediately burst out laughing, leaving the two of them a bit bewildered. Kim Ja-in immediately asked, What is it? She immediately replied, They're saying you two are dating. On the screen now was a picture of the two of them. The MC added, This happened after the A-rank hero Stardust stopped the train yesterday morning. First, please direct your attention to this photo. It's the scene where he gently lowered Stardust's eyelids. The MC continued, Looking at this, it's clear that the villain and the hero look exactly like a pair of lovers. Hearing that, Stardust was so furious that he crushed the water bottle in his hand. Both of them exclaimed in unison, What on earth is this? On the live broadcast, the MC was still speaking nonstop. In Korea, the most beloved villain is Egoistic, and the rising rookie superhero is Stardust. The dating rumors between the two of them are incredibly hot right now. Reporter Park, what's the reason for the explosion of these romantic rumors? He immediately pointed and continued. Look here, do you recognize this? The other person immediately looked surprised. Yes, this is a line of text with Stardust's name. He immediately objected. That's wrong. It's not just a simple line of text. To you, Stardust. This is a gift from me to you. That's the true meaning. And next up, the screen showed Egoistic gently saying, All right, Stardust. You did very well in a way I never expected. This is your victory. The excited MC jumped up, pointed at it, and roared. Look closely! If this isn't love, then what is it? When Mango Stick spoke those last words and closed Stardust's eyes, Stardust also peacefully drifted off to sleep. If they're not dating, then what would you call it? Shin Haru, who was Stardust in her normal classroom self, froze when she saw that. She rubbed her head, silently wondering, Am I really dating that crazy villain? Absolutely no way. But she couldn't help but feel something was off. She asked herself again, What is this? Clearly, I'm overflowing with hatred and resentment towards him, but there seems to be a strange, inexplicable feeling mixed in. Then she immediately slumped her head onto the desk, sighing to herself a few times. Just then, Kim Chae-hyun approached. Worriedly, she called out, Haru, your soul must be exhausted from all the studying. Let me heal you today. Saying so, she pulled out a huge bag of ice cream. Then she rushed over and grabbed Haru's hand. Her eyes sparkled like stars. Just trust me today. Let's go out and have some fun. Meanwhile, in another place, someone else was grumbling and yelling, Go! Please go! I really want to go. That person was Han Seo-eun. Crying and thrashing on the floor, Lee Soo-bin quickly tried to soothe her. Seo-eun, don't whine like that. She refused, shouting, We've already done 2 terror missions. Now I want to go out and have fun. Kim Ja-in, seeing that this wasn't working, suggested, Ms. Soo-bin, Seo-eun, how about we all go out for a trip? Hearing that, Hansel-ul immediately sat bolt upright, then happily cheered a few times. Kim Ja-in also smiled, looking at the advertisement flyer and thinking to herself, this plot point wasn't in the original work, but I guess it won't be a problem, right? Meanwhile, elsewhere, Shin Haru was also smiling. An ice cream festival? A little later, at the ice cream festival, upon arrival, they found the place incredibly crowded. Kim Ja-in couldn't help but exclaim, even on a weekday afternoon, it's still so packed. Han Seo-eun, however, looked displeased. She asked him, brother, are you wearing black again? He replied with a smile, Seo-eun, men should wear black, you know. Hearing that, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. What nonsense are you talking about? Kim Ja-in was a little stunned. She's smiling so brightly and calling him big brother? It seemed she was truly happy. Just then, Han Seo-eun pointed to a spot, excitedly saying, here's the rice ice cream, and immediately ran towards that counter. Kim Ja-in happily turned to Lee Subin and asked, coming out to play was really worth it, wasn't it? She smiled brightly and replied, yes, it was. She looked so happy. A moment later, Kim Ja-in also tried a spoonful of ice cream. He couldn't help but be surprised. It's really delicious. Subin, you should try some too. Saying that, he held a spoonful of ice cream towards her, making her very flustered. Han Seo-eun, however, innocently urged, what's wrong? Big sister, hurry and eat. She awkwardly turned and then replied, wait a moment. Her eyes lit up, and she secretly thought, isn't this like an indirect kiss? And then she also tried a bite of ice cream. After eating, Lee Subin also had to praise, it's really delicious. But at that moment, Han Seo-eun saw something else, changed direction, and ran while calling out, look, mango ice cream! Kim Ja-in was startled, hey, wait for me! As soon as they arrived, Han Seo-eun's eyes were glued to the ice cream display in front of her. She excitedly called out to the ice cream vendor, one ice cream cone for me! He smiled sweetly and replied, oh my, this little one is the spitting image of her parents, so adorable. Kim Ja-in was a little bewildered. What? But when Han Seo-eun looked over, he immediately changed his demeanor, mumbling, ah yes, that's right. She then looked disdainful, muttering, this guy looks older than his actual age, doesn't he? Kim Ja-in immediately retorted, perhaps it's because of your height, not me. Hearing that, she immediately frowned again. After a moment, the ice cream vendor brought out the tray of treats and cheerfully announced, here you go, little one's ice cream. 1 cone, 2 cups. Kim Ja-in smiled and asked, you ordered for us too? She smiled and replied, you're the leader of the mango squad, so of course you have to eat mango-flavored ice cream. The ice cream vendor, however, looked bewildered and asked, mango squad? Seeing his strange look, Kim Ja-in quickly corrected, it's nothing. But right after that, he was startled. It turned out the guy had turned back to show off his fandom picture, proudly declaring, I made this myself. Looks good, right? Kim Ja-in saw that and got a huge headache. Han Seo-eun, however, gave a thumbs up and declared, movie quality! A moment later, they went and sat on a stone bench. While enjoying his meal, Kim Ja-in suddenly remembered something. He looked towards the dart game. He then asked, Seo-eun, you know I used to be a dart master, right? I'll show you what I can do. Han Seo-eun glared and asked, hey, are you planning to cheat using your remote control ability? As soon as they reached the stall, the vendor quickly introduced, we're having an event. If you hit all 10 times, you'll win a 10-scoop ice cream. Han Seo-eun quickly said, I prefer the second prize. That stuffed bear is much cuter. Kim Ja-in immediately asked back, anyway, the first prize winner can choose freely, right? The vendor confirmed, yes. Holding a dart in his hand, Kim Ja-in confidently asked, Seo-eun, did you hear? I'll get it for you. But in his heart, he secretly calculated, I'll pretend to concentrate, then find a discreet moment to add a little power and launch it. Just then, a woman walked over and asked, how much for 1 round? Kim Ja-in couldn't help but be bewildered. This person looked so familiar. After a closer look, he couldn't help but be startled. He softly murmured to himself, Kim Chae-hyun, Shin Haru's university senior. And at that moment, she turned around and asked, Haru, the prize includes a 10-scoop ice cream. Following that, Shin Haru's sweet voice replied, let me try to get one for you. Seeing her brother frozen, Han Seo-eun quickly turned and urged him, what are you doing? Hey, throw it already. But when they looked behind them, both Han Seo-eun and Lee Subin froze as well. It turned out the person who arrived was indeed Shin Haru. All three of them, without prior arrangement, froze together. Just then, Shin Haru looked over. And Kim Ja-in was so tense he didn't dare to move. A few minutes earlier, Kim Chae-hyun pulled Shin Haru's hand and ran forward, excitedly saying, "Haru, there's rice ice cream over there. It's super delicious. Haru, try this." She brought her mouth closer to try a bite. Haru's eyes lit up, and she exclaimed, "It's really delicious." Seeing this, Chae-hyun smiled brightly and said, "Finally, your facial muscles have relaxed, Haru." Suddenly, both were drawn to another stall, and she immediately took Haru's hand, inviting her. "Let's go! They have Haru's favorite ice cream flavor over there. It's mango flavor. Let's eat quickly." Her eyes immediately lit up. Mango! But that delight was quickly replaced by a look of disdain. The stall owners stood with their back turned, showing off a shirt with Egoistic's image, shyly saying, "I made it myself." Seeing this, Chae-hyun praised, "Oh my, that's so cute." A moment later, both sat on a bench to rest. Kim Chae-hyun cheered excitedly. "This is really fun. Haru likes it too, right?" She turned and happily replied, "Of course, Unnie." Putting aside the recent discomfort, she closed her eyes and felt the surrounding atmosphere. "How long has it been since I've been able to go out and enjoy the scenery like this? It's wonderful." Suddenly, Chae-hyun pointed to a stall where three people were standing and said, "Haru, once we finish this, let's try that one, okay?" She looked at Chae-hyun's beaming face of excitement and asked, "Darts, huh? Seems interesting." The two quickly went to the dart stall. The vendor warmly welcomed them. "We're having an event. If you hit the target all 10 times, you'll win a 10-scoop ice cream." Chae-hyun politely replied, "Oh, really?" While waiting, Haru's gaze shifted to the people next to them. They looked like a young couple, but why was the girl's hair silver? No, it's probably more fitting that she's his granddaughter. And this man, why does he feel so familiar? Just then, Chae-hyun spoke up, encouraging her. "Haru, go ahead and try throwing." She stopped her thoughts and replied, "Okay." The dart flew straight into the balloon, causing it to burst. She cheered excitedly. A direct hit. Kim Ja-in looked down at her, thinking, Stardust's abilities are monstrous strength and the power of flight. But this monstrous strength isn't just about being powerful. To be more precise, it's an extremely superior physique. At this moment, Chae-hyun cheered again. 2 hits! Which immediately dampened his mood. Currently, it's just an incredible burst of power when needed. But eventually, she will gradually become a superhuman beyond human limits. Not only her 5 senses, but also her 6th sense will develop. In other words, excellent. Her instincts will make her realize immediately when something is amiss. Proof of that is that even now, it's enough for her to sense that the person might be egoistic. If I reveal my identity as egoistic right here, she'll send me straight to prison. Kim Jae-in imagined himself and his teammates all ending up in prison. Another balloon was hit. Chae-hyun happily clapped and praised, "Haru, you're so good, you hit all 10 shots." She shyly said, "Oh, it's nothing, just a trifle." The enthusiastic staff brought out their prize. "Here's your 10-scoop ice cream." Then she turned to ask Kim Ja-in, "Aren't you throwing, sir?" He replied, startled, "Oh my, the person next to me is so good that I was completely engrossed watching them. I'll throw now." Kim Ja-in awkwardly turned to Han Seo-eun and said, Seo-eun, look, I'll show you my dart-throwing technique." She awkwardly played along. "Hurry up. No need to use my powers, just throw a few random darts and then make a quick exit." Next, Kim Ja-in threw 10 darts forward at once. Strangely, all of them hit their targets. Why exactly? He turned pale when Haru noticed and Chae-hyun praised. "The customer next to us is also incredibly skilled." The cheerful employee brought out a cute bear. "You said you wanted a stuffed bear more than the grand prize, right? Here, the stuffed bear is ready." But all three quickly ran away, making the employee call after them. "Wait!" Kim Ja-in kept walking and said, "It's fine, we're leaving now." Seo-eun chimed in, "See ya!" Chae-hyun quickly took the 10-story ice cream tower and went ahead, saying, "We'll bring this over for Haru to help carry." She listened, holding the bear, and replied, "Yes," she added, "over here." But the ice cream tower was too tall and hit the ceiling. All the ice cream spilled down onto Kim Ja-in. Even a tiny bit would mean a bad ending. Must avoid at all costs. He quickly used his speed to dodge all the ice cream. Seo-eun rushed over in a panic. "Brother!" Lee Soo-bin also shouted, "Kim Ja-in!" Chae-hyun, standing nearby, asked worriedly, Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Give me your contact info. I'll send you money for dry cleaning. I'm fine. You don't need to worry. Thinking that, Kim Ja-in stood up and said, It's fine. I might have overreacted a bit. Just need to dodge a little, that's all. Come on, let's go. What's wrong? Please hurry. If we keep this up, we'll all be eliminated. He reached his hand forward, urging the other two. Let's go quickly. Suddenly, something emerged, startling both Kim Ja-in and Haru. What is that? A pitch-black thing emerged from the ground, scaring everyone and sending them scattering. A crocodile jaw appeared. It raised its head and roared loudly. Stardust! Stardust! Come out now! Crocodile Man, A-rank villain. Kim Jae-in quickly embraced Seo-yoon and Subin, instructing them, you two stay put here. According to the original story's sequence, that guy shouldn't be appearing yet. Why is he suddenly active right now? Meanwhile, Haru pulled Chae-hyun and ran off. Haru. Kim Jae-in, meanwhile, was frantically calculating in his head. Running back to the association now to get the perception-reducing filter is too risky. If it's Stardust from the original story, in the original story, the moment she reveals her face is the beginning of a path of misfortune and decline. No, in the original story, when she appears, something bad will happen. That thing, even if the sky falls, I won't let it happen. Then he strained with all his might and shouted, making Seo-yoon call out in alarm. Egoistic. The energy radiating from him was immense. His everyday clothes were thrown into the air. Kim Ja-in, now egoistic, said, Ego, I'll clean up later, Seo-yoon, ah. She approached anxiously and asked, What are you planning to do? But he simply replied, Help me with the broadcast. This made Seo-yoon feel distressed. Mr. Kim Ja-in. Meanwhile, outside, Crocodile Man was smashing everything. Stardust, if you don't show yourself, I will destroy everything. From behind him, a voice now emerged. Hello, dear audience. The true antagonist of this era. Egoistic picked up the microphone and smirked. The common adversary of the Republic of Korea, Egoistic. How dare you trespass on my territory, you petty crocodile? Crocodile Man was stunned. What? Online comments exploded. Mango Stick. Oh my goodness, is he Mango Stick? He just admitted he's the common adversary. Wasn't he a hero before? Seriously, I don't get it. Guys, I'm laughing so hard he looks like a rock band vocalist. Now he gave a wicked laugh and declared, Now you will meet your end here. 3 years ago, inside the association, a speaker's voice was steadily announcing, The device you see before you is indispensable for heroes, what is known as a perception-reducing filter, often simply called a filter. When you enter and exit the device, the filter will be applied to your face for a certain period. Only faces with the filter applied will cause viewers to experience recognition disorder. However, if you reveal your face to someone who already knows you, the filter will have no effect. Do you all understand? The students in the class chorused, Yes. The teacher continued to admonish, Even a fool knows how dangerous it is for a hero to have their identity revealed. Not to mention their career, their entire life could be ruined. Remember this well. Haru, sitting in the lecture hall, also chorused with his classmates. Yes? Back to the present, half the area has been devastated by Crocodile Man. It's too late to go back to headquarters for the filter. What should I do? Her hands clenched into fists. In this situation, am I becoming a hero just to run away? No. Seeing her leave, Chae-hyun quickly called out, Haru! At this moment, the teenagers focused on the screen and cheered. It's Egoistic! Egoistic is here. Haru froze. What? Outside, he held a microphone, speaking with arrogance. The true villain of this era, the common enemy of the entire Republic of Korea, Egoistic, dares to trespass on my territory, you petty crocodile punk? Crocodile Man, confused, exclaimed, What? Egoistic gave a dismissive thumbs down. Now you will perish here. Inside, he kept screaming, No, absolutely not. Stardust in the original story suffered so much after revealing his face, and a hero's normal life is truly important. Thinking that, he roared, Don't you know that, you crocodile fiend? It wouldn't back down and roared back, You scoundrel! The one who keeps pretending to be close to Stardust? Isn't that egoistic? Seeing this, Egoistic helplessly asked, Hey, why do you keep bringing up Stardust? The live stream comments were somewhat mocking. Stardust's crazy fan is here, Mr. Crocodile. He's attacking non-stop. I will eliminate you to get to Egoistic. Crocodile Man clung to the wall and climbed. Its sharp claws dug firmly into the wall. From its mouth, energy began to accumulate, preparing to fire. Next, Crocodile Man leaped onto the rooftop where Egoistic was standing. Come here, you! It didn't give him time to react. It lunged forward with a direct attack, but Egoistic easily dodged the blow. What are you doing, you punk? You know my name, but you don't know I have teleportation abilities? Crocodile Man tossed him up and roared, You pesky fly, fight properly in a one-on-one. Egoistic dodged the attack and said, Hey, I'm a villain, you know. The comments section became lively again. Egoistic is a villain, and today he's still trying to assert that he's a villain. But why did Egoistic run over there? Seeing this comment, he paused for a moment. Wait, I need to explain this a bit. If I ignore it, everyone will misunderstand that I came here for Stardust. Then Egoistic raised his hand to the sky and declared, Hold on, listen to me first. Crocodile Man agreed. All right, make it quick. Seeing this, he quickly asked, But first, I have to ask this. Why did you suddenly attack me? It didn't mince words, stating immediately, That's obvious. I've targeted Stardust, and you seem very concerned about Stardust, so you're my adversary. This reasoning made Egoistic exasperated. What in the world? What kind of logic is that? A long string of viewer comments also supported this. That idiotic villain also knows Mango likes Stardust. Egoistic can teleport, but he also knows that guy likes Stardust? Are these two fighting over a girl? Didn't Egoistic come here on behalf of Stardust? What's going on? How did it get tangled up with these two guys? Why now? It wasn't over. Crocodile Man pointed directly at Egoistic and said, What's more, you were the one who said you'd eliminate me first. The comments laughed along. That's so true. He was startled and asked, When did I say that? It mimicked his initial actions, repeating, You said, How dare you trespass on my territory, you petty crocodile? Now you will perish here. You said exactly that, didn't you? Egoistic pointed out, flustered. No way. I didn't say anything like that. The comments buzzed again. The comments section erupted in laughter. Why is the crocodile suddenly speaking so sweetly? How does one threaten like that? Then Crocodile Man roared, I'm truly enraged. Then he gathered his fury, preparing to unleash a stream of fire. His eyes widened in shock. Isn't that an ultimate skill? Crocodile Man. Ultimate skill. Powerful fire breath. Egoistic used teleportation to leap into the air. He gasped, exclaiming, One hit would mean instant demise. Seeing his panic, it laughed loudly. Surprised? Egoistic? Egoistic quickly retrieved a weapon from his personal space. He clenched his fist, asserting, See you in the underworld, you scoundrel. The guns continuously unleashed a barrage of bullets. The thick smoke and dust made him wonder, Has he been vanquished? The viewers quickly realized, Could it be? Crocodile Man, completely unfazed, said, Do you think a few bullets can harm my body? He quickly took off his mask and left his phone there. Egoistic teleported high above and said, No, I had to do that to make you drop your guard. He continued to launch something else. It was about to curse, so it opened its mouth wide and immediately snapped at it. You wretched insect! Immediately, Crocodile Man's entire body exploded. Its body was ravaged from deep within its belly. He grumbled irritably to himself, Hey you! Do you think I don't know how much Stardust struggled against your thick hide in the original story? Did you think I wouldn't prepare? Its entire body was charred black. Then Crocodile Man fell to the ground. Comments roared with cheers. Mango Stick, Mango Stick. The association must immediately designate Mango Stick as a hero, and yet he calls himself a villain. The weapons Egoistic had just used now fell. He also landed safely. Egoistic's vision blurred. Damn it, I used too much energy. I wanted to recreate the cool scene with external force, but my stamina is depleted. Even holding this phone feels precarious. Suddenly, the phone floated in front of him and asked, So Egoistic came here to deal with the villain? Egoistic hastily affirmed, That's right, everyone. I'm only here because I hate that crocodile guy. Don't think I acted for Stardust instead of for the public good, okay? Other comments laughed, saying everything he said was right. From the sky, a person swiftly descended onto the rooftop. That person was Stardust. She stood up and asked, You took that guy down? Egoistic calmly replied, He was in the way, so I just dealt with him. Stardust's face darkened as she asked, Why? He casually spread his hands and said, What do you mean, why? Because it kept screaming that Ms. Stardust and I were secretly involved in something ambiguous, and it bothered me. Stardust wondered, what? Then Egoistic raised a hand to his ear and said, Ms. Stardust, next time if something like today happens, don't think you can just reveal your face and show off. Once you reveal your face, your life will become very difficult. Stardust's eyes widened in surprise upon hearing this. Then Egoistic picked up his phone, turned on the mic and said, all right, today's broadcast ends here. That was too unexpected. It's exhausting me. There's a big event next month, so everyone tune in. A comment on the phone wondered, what were you two saying on air with the mic off? Then Egoistic vanished in a flash of light. Well, goodbye? Stardust quickly called out. Wait! Her face was filled with confusion and regret. Egoistic had now teleported back to his original position. He coughed up a large amount of syrup. His face was pale from overusing his power. Seo-eun and Subin rushed over in a panic. Brother, Kim Ja-in! As for Stardust, she picked up the mask he had left behind. How did he know what I was thinking? Who exactly are you, Egoistic? Back in Haru's room. Egoistic's capture of Crocodile Man made him the center of attention. The public was confused about his faction, leading to the creation of the Mango Stick fan club. Chat groups were filled with praise for Egoistic as if he were a deity, completely breaking down prejudices and bans against villain worship. Reading this, she held her forehead and sighed. Suddenly, Haru's tired eyes caught a comment from a Hero fan. What is Hero doing today? Lately, Mango Stick has been making moves, and the fandom just blindly cheers them on. If Korea continues like this, immediately, a Mango fan replied with a meme. Isn't it great? This infuriated her. Darn it. Then Haru flopped onto her bed and sighed. I'm the only one who doesn't like Egoistic. She remembered the owner wearing a shirt with Egoistic's image. I made it myself, you know, Chae-hyun had also praised. So cute. His image from that time flashed through her mind. Listen, Stardust, next time something like today happens, don't even think about just revealing your face and showing off. Could it be that everyone else is right and only I am wrong? At the same time, at Egoistic's hideout, Kim Ja-in was being treated, and Seo-eun muttered angrily, it's all because of that Stardust girl. Then she startled and looked up. He had woken up and was tapping on the glass door. Looking at the two girls in front of him, Kim Ja-in asked gently, why are you all crying? Seo-eun rushed to hug him, crying loudly. He patted her and said, there, there. A moment later, at the dining table, he processed some information in his mind. I didn't even realize I was unconscious for 3 days. Looking back, it's probably due to all the teleportation. And lifting my body with external force, too. It's truly exhausting. She put food into Kim Ja-in's bowl and instructed, from now on, you really need to take proper care of your body. He nodded in agreement. All right, I'll do that. Then happily thought to himself, after all, this kid even shed tears for me. Working with her seems to be effective. Suddenly, Subin spoke up. Hey Kim Ja-in, why did you rush off like that? People might mistake you for a hero. Seo-eun reacted sharply right away. Exactly. I completely don't understand. All day long you talk about this villain and that villain. Kim Ja-in put food into his mouth and replied, if I didn't intervene, Stardust would have. She then asked, so what? But he quickly explained, it's very dangerous. When a hero reveals their face, their personal information will be completely exposed. What happens next? The villains who harbor grudges or other malicious individuals will become curious, seek out, and eliminate the hero. Seo-eun frowned and questioned, what does that have to do with us? Kim Ja-in put down his chopsticks and began to explain. Seo-eun, the world we live in is a skewed system, an imbalance between good and evil. Most heroes don't follow the path of heroes. Instead, they choose the path of villains. The rewards for their efforts to defeat are too meager, and they're constantly harassed. So instead of stumbling and suffering as heroes, many choose to be villains to live an easier life. In South Korea alone, there are only 3 A-rank heroes, Stardust, Icicle, and Shadow Walker. But A-rank villains are abundant, aren't they? She stopped questioning and gently retorted, so you're planning to take down the villains for them, are you? What a dark hero. But what does that have to do with us? Jia-yen rubbed the back of his neck and replied, it's not that extreme. I'm just a little concerned about the fate of Korea. Seo-eun quickly caught the main point. You and that Stardust girl, do you like her? He immediately frowned in annoyance. Don't call her that, Seo-eun. Be more respectful. The two immediately started glaring at each other. Subin, seeing a fight about to break out, quickly intervened. Seo Yoon, why don't you talk about what we discussed earlier? Let Kim Ja-in hear it. It was only when she reminded her that Seo Eun remembered. That's right. Hey, summer's almost here. Let's go on a trip, okay? Let's go to the beach. Kim Ja-in raised his hand in agreement. A trip? A trip. That sounds pretty good. Seo Yoon cheered upon hearing this, but he quickly presented a new mission. But let's do one more terrorist attack, then we can go. She was startled. Huh? A terrorist attack? Again? He nodded, explaining to reduce the sensationalism a bit. At this, he frowned, adding in his head, and to make Stardust stronger. I'm not sure those kinds of villains won't emerge again. If Stardust has to face them, it'll be really tough. Seo Eun pouted, full of doubt. Are we really going on a trip? Kim Ja-in immediately held up his pinky, proposing, Pinky promise? Seo Eun linked pinkies, smiling happily. You promised. Let's go pack our bags. A moment later, Seo Eun was packing up, smiling and saying, Actually, I've already thought of dozens of options. Among them, if I were to propose one, Kim Ja-in looked at her, enthusiastically thinking to himself, Seo Eun is really taking the initiative, huh? Then Seo Eun started drawing the plan on the board. The previous terrorist attacks were at observatories or on trains. Both were land-based, weren't they? This time, let's do it underwater or in the sky. He began to focus his thoughts, muttering, Underwater and in the sky. Come to me, God of terror, grant me an idea. I've got it. Soo Bin, startled, asked, What is it, Kim Ja-in? Kim Ja-in began to lay out his plan. Let's try this, Soo Bin. A plane crashing into the sea. Just thinking of that scenario, Kim Ja-in and Seo Eun smirked wickedly. After that, they traveled on a flight. The passengers were still enjoying the journey, when suddenly the plane's lights went out. But the people inside didn't seem to care much, laughing and joking. Look, with the lights off, the sky is clearer, it really feels like a vacation. Then the screens on the seats lit up. The Ego Show live on the screen greeted, Everyone, it's great to see you all again. The biggest quiz in the sky at 25,000 feet. No, it should be called the biggest airborne trivia game. Welcome to the Ego Show Live. A female passenger angrily asked, Stewardess, what's going on? The voice from the screen continued. That's right. And of course, the plane you are currently on also has an explosive device attached, by the way. The device is now preparing to activate. The captain flinched. What? When did he attach that? Passengers began to panic and cause a commotion. Terrifying laughter erupted as Egoistic typed on the keyboard and chuckled. All right, let the game begin. Meanwhile, on the ground, Stardust hastily asked, How long has it been since the incident occurred? But Mr. Junho stopped her. Even if you go, you might not make it in time to do anything. She was so furious she slammed the table and demanded, Is that really what the association president says? I have to go immediately. Junho turned away, looking elsewhere. Did I say you couldn't go? From a distance, someone weary approached. Daytime is truly difficult. Another hero stepped out from inside. Stardust's eyes lit up as she watched. She exclaimed his name, Kim Chae-hyun. Chae-hyun spoke. Hello, Haru. Kim Chae-hyun, A-rank hero, Shadow Walker, King of the Night. He turned to Mr. Junho and said, Let's hurry to Jeju Airport and then get some sleep. That's too much for me. Uncle Junho had warned them before leaving. Don't overdo it. We can't save everyone. Haru immediately replied, I'll remember that. Then both of them left immediately. As soon as she arrived, she hastily left Chae-hyun, saying, Thank you, you've worked hard. Stardust rushed out. Suddenly she flinched, her steps halting on the wall. Her face was filled with despair. She looked at the burning plane and said, How can I stop this? A year ago, one evening in a small neighborhood, inside the abandoned factory, a crowd of citizens stood listening to a shrill voice ringing out. The day I place all of Seoul, this entire Republic of Korea under my heel is not far off. With that, he burst into maniacal laughter. He was Needle Thousand, an S-rank antagonist. Suddenly, another voice echoed through the silent space. But my intentions are different. Everyone flinched in unison. The young man yelled, Who's there? He stood in the corner of the room and slowly spoke. It is I, a hero. You evil ones! This person is an A-rank hero, a rookie, a shadow walker, king of the night. Needle Thousand stood up and advanced towards him, growling, Hey kid, do you know whose territory this is? The man disguised as a demon stared at the Shadow Walker, then frowned and wondered, how did he get in here? A cold wind from unknown origins swept through. Needle Thousand prepared to throw a punch at him. He roared, "This is my territory, Needle Thousands!" As he finished speaking, he delivered a powerful blow directly to where the Shadow Walker stood. He remained calm and fearless. Needle Thousand's last attack caused the wall behind to explode. He gritted his teeth as if realizing something. Needle Thousand roared, "Where did he go?" From behind, a hand appeared from thin air and grabbed the man's leg. Immediately, the person was pulled into the strange black hole. Very quickly, everyone else in the room suffered a similar fate. Their desperate screams echoed as they struggled in vain. Needle Thousand became more vigilant. He told himself, "Don't be careless, he's no ordinary opponent." Just then, a wisp of gray smoke appeared behind Needle Thousand. Shadow Walker burst forth from within, charging towards Needle Thousand. He had no idea that Needle Thousand was now smiling confidently. Needle Thousand unleashed his power, attacking Shadow Walker from behind, and simultaneously roared, "You're getting too overconfident! You little brat! How dare you bare your fangs at me!" As he spoke, he turned around, but Needle Thousand suddenly froze when he saw something on the floor below. Shadow Walker's voice echoed throughout the room. "Hey, you porcupine! Earlier you said, this is your territory, right?" In a flash, he moved behind Needle Thousand, making his face turn pale. Spreading his hand and gathering his inner power, Shadow Walker said coldly, "My apologies. This place has become my territory." As he finished speaking, a massive shadow appeared, engulfing Needle Thousand. Startled awake from old memories, Shadow Walker lay clutching his chest, panting heavily. "It's beyond my reach now. I'm surely done for." On the large screen, Stardust called out from the nearby staircase, "Thanks. You've worked hard." Egoistic observed every move of the two, thinking to himself, "The main character has stepped onto the stage." He put on his headphones, smirked, and said, "All right then. Now," Egoistic's voice echoed throughout the airplane cabin. "Let's get to the final dramatic riddle. Shall we begin?" Kim Bong-bae held his phone, trembling. Sweat poured down, soaking his forehead. He swallowed hard, his eyes fixed on the phone. 30 minutes earlier, everyone had been terrified, clutching their heads, hoping only to save their lives. A beep sounded, and small screens simultaneously emerged from the back of the seats, displaying Egoistic's face. Everyone held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. At this moment, Egoistic's voice came from the screen. "All right, before we begin the game, I will announce the rules. Everyone, please take out your phones and turn off airplane mode." You see the new message that just arrived, right? The content of the message that everyone received was, according to Ego Live's nonsense quiz, there are a total of 10 questions. If just one person answers all questions correctly, the bomb will be disarmed. But if no one answers even one question correctly, everyone will be eliminated. Please send your answers to this number. Are you ready? After reading the message, Egoistic's voice rang out again. "From now on, silence, cheating, and discussion are not allowed. Understood? If you make a sound, you will be immediately disqualified. So, question number 1. How many people could the Titanic's lifeboats carry? Begin!" After his command, the large screen immediately displayed a countdown of 59 seconds. A woman, not knowing the answer, risked a glance at the person next to her. She was immediately caught. "That woman who just cheated, disqualified!" the woman cried out in panic. "No," Egoistic's voice slowly questioned. "You just made a sound, didn't you? You're disqualified, so the old man next to you will be disqualified in your place too." Hearing this, she immediately covered her mouth to the astonishment and anger of the two people sitting next to her. Comments from viewers popped up with delight. "This is truly a quiz game from hell. Just watching it makes me tense. So cruel. Who said Egoistic was a hero? He's truly terrifying." At the same time, the countdown reached Uro and Egoistic spoke up. "Well, too easy, wasn't it? The answer to question number 1 is number 9, Gu. Why? Because it's Q, Gu, as in rescue." After saying this, he slapped his hand on the table, slap slap, and burst into delighted laughter. Han Seo-eun, standing next to him, could only purse her lips in annoyance, thinking to herself, "He's really enjoying himself, isn't he?" Before the silence of everyone, Egoistic announced, "The disqualified ones are..." The computer screen immediately marked the seats of the disqualified people with a red line. He feigned regret. "Oh dear, it's only just begun, and you're already in such disarray? Everyone should be a little more tense, shouldn't they?" Now then, good luck. Next question. And so the game continued. Each time the countdown reached 0, different expressions appeared on everyone's faces. Some were disappointed, some sighed in relief, and some made signs to pray for themselves to overcome this game. On the board, the number of disqualified seats had almost filled up, and Egoistic announced, "Now it's the final question, with only one person left." Well, aren't you all extremely tense now? He looked up at the screen, saw that Stardust had successfully escaped from that place, and inwardly exclaimed, "Excellent." Egoistic cheerfully spoke into the loudspeaker. "Since it's the final round, how about we try a little interview? Everyone's fate rests on your words. Mr. Kim Bong-bae from Baedong, you've become the last one remaining. How do you feel?" Kim Bong-bae immediately flinched when he heard his name called out. "Well, that truly, a very, very, very heavy responsibility." Egoistic calmly asked, "Why is that?" "I already said, what happens if you make a sound?" Knowing he had fallen into his trap, Kim Bong-bae became even more panicked. At that moment, Egoistic burst out laughing again. "Oh dear, it's the last question anyway, so a small mistake like this can be forgiven, right? Isn't that right, everyone?" But I don't like that. Suddenly, the surrounding space began to shake. Everyone screamed in fear. The exploded plane plummeted from the sky. Egoistic smirked triumphantly. "Well, this performance is ready. It's time for the hero to appear." Stardust stood below, looking up at the sky. Her face turned pale with shock. The name Egoistic had been expecting echoed in her mind. Stardust mumbled with trembling lips, "What should I do now?" Chairman of the association. A voice came through her earpiece. "What more can we do? Just give up. I'm busy drafting a statement to respond to the criticism." "Damn it, it's the president's call again. I have to hang up now." Stardust clenched her fists and clicked her tongue. The world around her seemed to crumble. Stardust, powerless, collapsed to the ground. She despairingly bowed her head and said, "I thought I had stopped the train going 100 km/h. In the end, is my current strength still not enough? Damn it, what's the right thing to do?" Suddenly, Stardust froze as she recalled a childhood memory. Under the pouring rain, a cold figure turned and walked away, leaving Stardust with two lifeless bodies. Tears streamed down her face as she sobbed, calling out, "Mom, Dad, I will eliminate that person at any cost." Ending her train of thought, Stardust gritted her teeth and punched the ground fiercely. Her whole body trembled with resentment. She blamed herself. It was the same then, and it's the same now. "I couldn't save anyone." Just then, the earpiece in Stardust's ear connected to someone. A voice from the other end of the line rang out, "Hello, Ms. Stardust, it's Egoistic." After everything was done, Egoistic reverted to Kim Ja-in. He stretched and said, "This wave of terror attacks was easier to handle since we used remote control." At this moment, Han Seo-eun, who was beside him, suddenly spoke up, "Hey, Kim Ja-in." Kim Ja-in tilted his head, humming an inquiry. She pointed at the screen. "That Ms. Stardust, no, the Stardust is standing frozen on the ground." Upon hearing this, he immediately looked stunned. Kim Ja-in rushed forward, exclaiming, "What's wrong, Stardust?" It was then that he noticed the earpiece on Stardust's ear. An idea immediately sparked in Kim Ja-in's mind. Seo-eun looked bewildered. "Connected? Why?" Kim Ja-in urged her hastily. "There's no time, hurry up." She didn't dare delay, typing on the computer as he instructed. Once the earpiece was connected, Kim Ja-in spoke, "Hello, Ms. Stardust, this is Egoistic." Upon hearing that name, Stardust immediately cursed, "You rotten piece of trash." Kim Ja-in smiled calmly. "You've piqued my interest. Why aren't you saving people? What are you doing just standing there? It's falling now, the plane is about to crash." Stardust roared, "This is your doing, isn't it? And now you want me to stop it?" He retorted, "If you don't do it, then who will?" Tears once again streamed down her face. Stardust shrieked in panic. "Just touching that mass of metal falling at 1,000 kilometers per hour will shatter my body." "This is your plan, isn't it? You're trying to send me to my demise, aren't you?" It was then that Kim Ja-in gently reassured her. "You can do it." His words stunned Stardust. "What?" Kim Ja-in smiled reassuringly. "Act now. Clench your fists. Fly up there and save everyone. You'll succeed because it's you. You can do it." Stardust's eyes widened after his words. Her whole body trembled. "Damn it, what is this madman saying?" Kim Ja-in's voice continued. "Why would I want to eliminate you? Without you, Stardust, I'm just a mediocre antagonist. You are the one who helped me complete myself. Stardust. She was so stunned she couldn't utter a single word. She braced one hand on the ground, supporting her body as she slowly rose. Stardust removed her earpiece, her resolve hardening. Even if this is a scheme designed to neutralize me, I'll try it just once. On the other end of the line, Kim Ja-in was taken aback. What? Her hand clenched the earpiece, crushing it to pieces. She lowered her body to gain momentum. Stardust exerted her full power, causing the surrounding earth and rocks to erupt and shatter. She launched herself forward without hesitation. A fierce determination shone in her eyes. Stardust advanced directly, confronting the falling plane head-on. She told herself inwardly, "That's right, if I just stand by and watch people perish like this, I will live my whole life with the burden of guilt." Egoistic's words echoed in her head. "You can do it. Because it's you, you'll manage." She resolved that she would rather sacrifice herself to protect them than live her whole life in regret. The moment she made up her mind was also the moment Stardust's body touched the nose of the plane. Meanwhile, inside, Kim Bong-bai was still crying and blaming himself. I, I, I've doomed them. If only I had focused a little more earlier. My children, Mom, Dad." He reached his hand forward and closed his eyes as if accepting his fate. The little girl sitting closest to the window was clutching her head and looking outside. The scenery no longer seemed the same as before. The little girl whimpered and wondered to herself, "Is the speed decreasing?" Everyone looking up from below was simultaneously stunned. The captain continuously spoke into the radio. "It's unclear what happened, but currently the plane is receiving external assistance and is gradually descending to the ground." The co-pilot announced, "Dear passengers, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and await further instructions." Outside, Stardust bravely used her entire body to support the colossal plane. She gritted her teeth in determination. Just a little more. A long moment later, a pair of hazy eyes struggled to open. A flight attendant anxiously called out, "Mr. Kim Bong-bae, are you all right?" Kim Bong-bae clutched his head, trying to make sense of everything. He was bewildered. "Here!" The flight attendant helped Kim Bong-bae outside. He glanced around cautiously. Kim Bong-bae anxiously asked, "What's going on?" In front of him, a crowd was gathered around a girl kneeling on the ground. He pushed the flight attendant aside while his mouth moved silently. "Could it be? That's the one who protected us." A hero, Stardust, looked up at the sky and let out a sigh. Tears streamed down her face. She softly murmured a name, Egoistic. Soon after, the story of Stardust saving the plane was printed across all newspapers. America was horrified, Japan was stunned, China praised her extensively, and France also shivered at this hero. Who is Stardust? China was forced to admit that when it came to heroes, they had completely fallen short compared to Korea. Even combining all Japanese heroes wouldn't be able to rival Korea, the Japanese Minister of Internal Affairs shockingly revealed. National News Report. Editor Nam spoke seriously. "Hello, esteemed viewers. This is the morning 9 a.m. news, starting your day. Yesterday morning, this time, A-rank villain Egoistic used a remote control to hijack the plane and cause it to descend. Fortunately, all passengers were miraculously saved. The one who managed to hold the plane was none other than Stardust, our proud hero. Many experts had previously predicted that with her known abilities, she wouldn't be able to prevent this incident. But in the end, the plane slowly decelerated, and finally, the voice was cut off as someone turned off the TV. Stardust tilted her head back and drank a glass of water. She had now returned to her true identity, Shin Haru. Suddenly, the phone on the table vibrated. Shin Haru answered the phone. "Hello?" The person on the other end said something. She quietly asked back, "Really?" The girl on the other end immediately laughed and confirmed, "I've asked the association president to give Haru some time off. Go to the beach, enjoy the scenery, and relax for a day. It's been a long time since we went together like this." Shin Haru excitedly agreed. "Okay, I'll leave tomorrow right away." The other girl happily instructed, "Call Kim Chae-hyun to come along too, okay?" A moment later, Shin Haru stood silently on her home's balcony. She gazed into the distance. In her mind, she recalled Egoistic's voice from that time. "You'll manage, because it's you. You'll be able to do it." She sighed softly. Shin Haru asked herself, "Until now, has anyone ever placed such trust in me? He's just an ordinary villain, though. Wait a minute. But why did he tell me to save the plane? If he was so sure I could stop and save the plane, then why did he make it fall in the first place?" His words echoed once more. I am merely a mediocre villain. You, yourself, were the one who helped me become complete. Shinharu clutched her head, sighing heavily. Egoistic. There are too many hidden complexities, but somehow I have a feeling he did all of this intentionally for some purpose. I need to thoroughly investigate his movements. Just then, the Hero Association called. The person on the other end said something at length which seemed to surprise Shinharu. What? After a moment of silence to clearly hear the full story, she asked in astonishment, remeasuring my ability parameters? Early morning a few days later. From a street corner in the neighborhood, excited shouts echoed. Han Seo-eun, wearing a swimming float, enthusiastically waved her arms and legs. It's finally here. Today. Kim Ja-in, standing by the car, called out, Seo-eun, we're just getting ready, so deflate the float a bit. Put it in the car trunk. Han Seo-eun skipped happily and replied, Yes, Mr. Kim Ja-in. Kim Ja-in gave her a disdainful look. Hey, Han. Lee Subin carefully deflated Han Seo-eun's float. Meanwhile, Kim Ja-in stood rubbing his chin, thinking, Now that I think about it, this is my first vacation since coming to this world. Should I enjoy it? A moment later, the road they were on was blocked by a long line of traffic. Kim Ja-in yelled, well, what is this? The three of them sat in the car, drenched in sweat. He stammered, complaining, Why did the air conditioner have to break down on the day we go out? Han Seo-eun, unable to bear it, suggested, Brother, can't we just teleport this whole car? Kim Ja-in quickly replied, You'll perish on the spot. Let's stop at a rest stop to sort this out first. Do you have superhuman intelligence, Seo-eun? If you're too hot, take off some clothes. Han Seo-eun took off her outer jacket, grumbling, If I'd known, we should have just taken the train. Why go to such extremes? Kim Ja-in pointed at the suitcases next to her and said, There's too much luggage, Seo-eun, we can't. Han Seo-eun casually tossed her jacket behind her, then curiously opened the suitcase nearest to her, asking, What's this? These aren't vacation supplies, are they? She picked up a real weapon, her heart leaping. Kim Ja-in gave a thumbs up, smiling. Who knows what might happen? Han Seo-eun exploded, yelling, What kind of trip is this? Lee Soo-bin frantically intervened. I'm sorry. Seo-eun quickly put the weapon down, and then we can talk. Finally, after a long traffic jam, they arrived at the large beach. Han Seo-eun exclaimed joyfully, The beach! She quickly changed clothes, grabbed her float, and rushed into the sea. Kim Ja-in sat on the shore, nodding as he watched Han Seo-eun's figure. She really is like a child like this. A small hand gently opened a can of cola. It was Lee Soo-bin who offered it to him with a smile. I just bought drinks. Would you like a can too? Kim Ja-in reached out and took it. Thank you, Ms. Soo-bin. Their eyes met, and for a moment the surrounding space fell silent. Finally, Lee Soo-bin broke the silence. I'm always grateful to you, Kim Ja-in. Kim Ja-in took a sip of his drink and wondered, Grateful? For what? She sat up straight and replied, It's just everything. Thank you for saving me back then. Thank you for treating me well. Hearing that, Kim Ja-in gave Lee Soo-bin a thumbs up and laughed heartily. What's that all about? I'm the one who should be thanking you. You do all the housework for us and your cooking is delicious too. Lee Soo-bin's cheeks flushed. She was embarrassed. Hearing that, I'm really touched. That action made Kim Ja-in swallow hard. He thought to himself, could it be? Is this a death flag from a comic or is it betrayal? Am I being poisoned? Lee Soo-bin looked at Kim Ja-in, who suddenly flinched and trembled, then stared blankly, not understanding what was happening. At the same time, in a tall building, the man in the suit standing above tried to explain. We didn't measure incorrectly. The data clearly shows she couldn't have stopped the plane. The person next to him countered. Perhaps there was a mistake somewhere. What if we haven't grasped her true power yet? Stardust slowly walked up to the large door. She thought to herself, no, the power test wasn't wrong at all. When I managed to avert a seemingly impossible disaster, it was clear. Stardust clenched her fist tightly. She channeled all her strength into her body, causing it to emit a powerful aura. The people standing above, sensing this, immediately flinched and stared with wide eyes. Stardust shouted loudly, simultaneously swinging her arm to build momentum. All her power seemed to accumulate in her punch. A strike landed, causing the device to burst open. A loud explosion erupted, shaking the entire vast space. The people above, witnessing the scene, were utterly astonished, their eyes wide and mouths agape. Stardust's fist was almost smoking. Her gaze sharpened. I've become stronger. Gentle sunlight shone through the tall buildings. Han Seo-eun sat perched on her yellow float, looking around. On the shore, Kim Ja-in was awkwardly smiling and talking with Lee Subin, hoping for her continued help in the future. Han Seo-eun saw the scene and pointed, saying in a cold voice, "Hey, you two. Are you planning to get all cozy with each other and leave me alone?" Lee Subin retorted, embarrassed. "What romance are you talking about?" Seo-eun and Kim Ja-in looked puzzled. Han Seo-eun angrily shouted, "If it's a family trip, we should play together." Hearing this, he exclaimed, "Oh, really?" Kim Ja-in walked straight to where Han So-eun was sitting, ignoring her annoyed gaze. Without a word, he lifted Han So-eun, startling her. What are you doing? Wait! Kim Ja-in then casually tossed Han Seo-eun a distance away, saying triumphantly, "What am I doing? Just playing together." She surfaced from the water, gasping for air. Han Seo-eun threw a piece of seaweed right at Ja-in's face, shouting, "Water got all in my nose! How annoying! Seriously!" He removed the seaweed from his face, annoyed. Kim Ja-in thought to himself, "Anyway, it's been a long time since I've had this kind of peace. I like it." Thinking this, he rushed over and splashed water on Han Seo-eun's face, catching her off guard. The two played in the water for a while, under Lee Subin's joyful gaze. That evening, outside, a large car screeched to a halt. From inside, an aggressive voice boomed, "Where should our team hit tonight?" "Busan Marios Royale Hyperion Human Grand Ambassador 2, all of them. Let's make it a grand one." At the same time, at Marios Royale Hyperion Huon Grand Ambassador Hyatt, the receptionist, seeing someone approach, respectfully said, "Hello, what name is the reservation under?" Kim Ja-in hesitated, replying, "Perhaps Han Seo-eun." The employee smiled. "Yes, I've confirmed. Here is the key to room 2708. Hearing this, he immediately looked confused. "Only one room?" Seeing Kim Ja-in's face darken, Han Seo-eun rolled her eyes and whistled. "Well, it's good to save a little money." The elevator stopped on the 27th floor. Suddenly, Han Seo-eun exclaimed, "Oh, right. The bed is super huge, so let's all sleep together." Kim Ja-in frowned. "Is there really only one bed?" Lee Subin casually spoke up. "It's been a long time since we've slept three in a bed. It'll be fun. Just let it be." He said with a reluctant expression, "We've never slept together before." The elevator doors slowly closed. Kim Ja-in nervously thought to himself, "Surely nothing will happen, right?" Nothing actually happened. What were you expecting? The three of them shared the bed, but everyone just peacefully slept. Suddenly, in the dark, a whispered voice echoed, "Wait, I want to go into this room. 1, 2, 3. FBI, open up." Just as he finished speaking, the two young men kicked open the hotel room door. Kim Ja-in raised a finger. The two individuals standing outside the door were immediately attacked before they could react. He sat on the floor, rubbing his eyes and asking in a sleepy voice, "Where did these guys even come from?" Kim Ja-in cautiously peeked his head out. The hotel hallway suddenly became crowded at this hour. Unfamiliar young men were escorting people out of other rooms. A bossy individual shouted, "Hurry up, you lot!" Kim Ja-in, bewildered, asked, "Are they terrorists? Really?" His hand clenched the wall, causing it to crumble. He gritted his teeth and cursed under his breath. "Confound it, this is only the second time we've gone out, and each time we run into such nonsense. Wait a minute, Shadow Walker is still here, yet they dare to cause trouble at night?" Kim Ja-in read the latest information intently on KPS News. Shocking news! A-rank hero Shadow Walker was discovered collapsed in western Incheon. Just then, a sleepy voice came from behind Kim Ja-in. "Oh my! What's going on? Are there terrorists?" He honestly replied, sighing inwardly. "At this point, nothing surprises me anymore." "Wait, I'm going to check the parking lot for a bit. You wake Subin up and wait in the room, okay?" Han So-eun replied, rubbing her eyes. "Even on vacation, we run into terrorists? All right, I'll follow instructions." Kim Ja-in used teleportation and instantly appeared in the back seat of his car. Looking outside, he saw masked individuals standing guard. He resolved that he couldn't just quietly leave without addressing this matter. Kim Ja-in turned around and rummaged for a while, then suddenly he paused, the smile on his face becoming dangerously unpredictable. "Who would have thought the spare mask I brought would come in handy right away? Serves those scoundrels right for ruining our vacation. Come on, Show your faces to me. Kim Ja-in teleported back to the room once more, right before Lee Subin and Han Seo-eun's eyes. He threw the necessary items towards the two of them, ordering, "Take these. Let's go, everyone." Han Seo-eun followed behind, looking at Kim Ja-in and reluctantly clicking her tongue. He really seems excited at times like these. At the same time, in the hotel lobby, the leader sat on a large pile of luggage. Below them, they forced everyone to kneel, blindfolded and unable to move. The leader, Monkey Spanner, an A-rank villain, asked coldly, "Are you ready?" The soldiers signaled they were ready, which pleased him. "Good." Clearing his throat slightly, Monkey Spanner announced loudly, "Declare to the Hero Association and the government that we are currently holding hundreds of hostages here. If the requested funds are not immediately transferred to the provided account, everyone will be eliminated. The account number is 1L2. Suddenly, applause echoed from somewhere, drawing their attention. Monkey Spanner's gaze swept over. Kim Ja-in, now wearing his mask, clapped and said coldly, "That's enough. This ridiculous act of terror ends here." Taking a few more steps forward, Kim Ja-in swung his arm. Immediately, the gun in the hand of a masked individual was snatched away. One after another, the other individuals also had their weapons taken without being able to do anything. Kim Ja-in clenched his fist. The entire large building suddenly shook. Everyone on the ground screamed in fright. He frowned, thinking to himself, could this alone have depleted all the external energy I've accumulated over the past few months? No more delays. Kim Ja-in sprang forward. He launched a direct assault on Monkey Spanner. He leaped down from the pile of items while Jae-in stood proudly above. He scoffed. How ridiculous! Such weaklings dare to engage in terror? A sharp, cold glint suddenly appeared in Monkey Spanner's eyes. He spun around, pointing his gun directly at Kim Ja-in. Then, with a bang, fresh blood gushed out. Kim Ja-in stood frozen in shock as he realized a bullet had pierced his abdomen. A burst of laughter echoed everywhere. Kim Ja-in's voice rang out, "Only one bullet? Is that all, Monkey Spanner?" Suddenly, he paused for a moment. Kim Ja-in felt anxious internally. Damn it, things are perilous now. If I move, I'll die from excessive blood loss. On the other side, Monkey Spanner also secretly pondered, my intuition tells me I must leave immediately. You scoundrel, I had intended to take advantage of Shadow Walker's absence to strike quickly and retreat swiftly. That guy must be egoistic. Could it be that I'm also on his elimination list? Is that why he's already hiding here? Kim Ja-in lowered his voice provocatively. You seem very tense. I'll give you a chance to run away right now if you can. Monkey Spanner clenched his fists in anger. What are you plotting? Kim Ja-in retorted, refusing to back down. Plotting nothing. What you're racking your brain over, that's the plot. Now, because of you, my vacation is ruined. Don't bother me. Retreat quickly while you still can. Though he spoke boldly, he secretly pleaded internally. Please don't think too much anymore. Just go already. Just opening my eyes makes me dizzy now. Upon hearing this, Monkey Spanner immediately decided, this is an opportunity. That's right. I can bounce back any time just by boosting my powers. I am Monkey Spanner, who will one day become the king of Korea. I cannot perish here. Just as he was about to flee, a hand thrust towards him. The force was so great that it sent Monkey Spanner tumbling far away. Just then, Stardust burst in, shouting loudly, "You are surrounded! Drop your weapons and surrender!" The Monkey Gang. A few seconds later, a pair of feet slowly approached. Icicle asked coldly, "Are they all gone?" Shadow Walker lazily spoke, "How boring, so boring. Are they all down?" Just when I was about to take a break, the terrorists showed up. But who is that person? Sitting high above, Kim Ja-in looked bewildered. Why is she here? Below, Stardust frowned and asked, "Who are you? Did you subdue these terrorists?" He pressed firmly on his wound and secretly reassured himself. If you don't focus, you'll perish right here, Kim Ja-in. Fortunately, it seems they don't know I'm egoistic, so I need to buy a little more time. I just need to recover enough strength for 2 more teleports. Thinking this, Kim Ja-in spoke up. You're asking who I am? I am an S-rank hero secretly operating in Korea. All 3 widened their eyes in surprise upon hearing this. A moment later, Stardust snapped back to reality and questioned loudly, there are no records of an S-rank hero at the association. What nonsense are you spouting? Who exactly are you? Kim Ja-in's voice slowly rang out. A rank hero, Stardust? Don't you know what secret operation means? A rank hero, Icicle. A rank hero, Shadow Walker. I am a hero who has been active since before your generation. Upon hearing this, Seo Yoon and Subin simultaneously thought, Kim Jae-in, what in the world is he doing? Meanwhile, Kim Jae-in continued, when you meet a senior, you should greet them first. These guys are too clueless. Stardust pressed her lips together, not responding. Seeing this, he said, by your expressions, I can tell you don't understand anything. In that case, I'll introduce myself. Listen carefully. I am Hero. Kim Ja-in said, sweeping his gaze around. Suddenly, a line of text caught his eye. Immediately, Kim Ja-in blurted out, Apple Mango! Everyone who heard him looked at him with disdain. Icicle quickly reported, yes, he said it was Apple Mango. There's no such thing? Hey there, they said there's no hero with a nickname like that, right? Who are you really? Suddenly, Kim Ja-in exploded in anger, shouting, you insolent fool! I even know the association president. His real name is Park Man-jun, but now it's Park Jun-ho, right? He changed it because his old name sounded rustic. Go check it out. The crowd was startled by this. Seeing them like that, Kim Ja-in secretly rejoiced. He never expected the secret information from the original work to be so useful. Icicle stubbornly insisted, anyway, the president said he doesn't know you. Suddenly, an indignant man interrupted, hey heroes, I've been watching and it's making me angry, so I have to ask something. That masked young man helped us control these bad guys. So who he is doesn't really matter, does it? Icicle hastily explained, what I mean is, everyone, please calm down. Seeing this, Kim Ja-in secretly praised him. Oh my, that's perfect, old man. If I can just recover a little more strength, I can escape. The man continued to recount. And I saw that person make the gun float in the air and then shoot everywhere. And what was it? He's like that guy who often appears on TV. As soon as he heard this, Jae-in felt uneasy. Old man. On the other side, the man continued to babble. Well, what if he is? Just thinking about it makes me thrilled. Kim Ja-in silently pleaded, stop it. Icicle heard this and sneered, seems suspicious, doesn't it? Here he was struggling to hold on, just a little more. Icicle summoned her power and concluded, first, we should restrain him. Then we can reveal his identity. As soon as she finished speaking, she raised her hand to strike. Immediately, Kim Ja-in's leg was frozen. He frowned and clenched his teeth. 3-2, please. Please. At this moment, Stardust rushed forward, intending to seize him. Kim Jae-in's heart pounded. Move! At that exact moment, Stardust missed the grab. Kim Jae-in quickly moved in another direction and embraced the two girls. In an instant, they vanished, leaving Icicle no time to react. At the same time, in a car in an empty lot, Seo Yoon asked tremblingly, are you okay? Kim Ja-in spoke with pain. Seo Yoon, quickly, erase all evidence of us being in Busan right now. The hotel registration and CCTV footage. If they find out... Seo Yoon panicked. Sir, what's wrong with you? It was then that they noticed his injury. Subin loudly suggested, we need to get him to a hospital immediately. But Kim Ja-in stopped her. No, I don't have the strength to move anymore. We'll definitely be apprehended. Take me to Ego Base. Hearing that, Subin gritted her teeth, restraining herself. Then she quickly decided, Seo Yoon, first, get the first aid kit and administer some preliminary care. Seo Yoon looked bewildered. Seeing her like that, Subin snapped, hurry up! At this, Seo Yoon came to her senses and quickly replied, yes. After giving her instructions, Subin gripped the steering wheel tightly and said, I'll get everyone out of here first. The car sped along the deserted streets. Elsewhere, the victims were being rescued by soldiers. Icicle stood to the side, clicking his tongue. Seriously, a rare vacation, and these villains still won't give us a single day off. Shadow Walker gloomily suggested, I'm going to take a short break, okay? Seeing his expression, Icicle agreed. All right, you've worked hard. I'm the one who invited you here to unwind, after all. We're already here anyway. Stardust. On a deserted road, a car was driving at a normal speed. The driver was yawning widely, too sleepy, just chewing some gum. Huh, what is it? What's that? Is that car insane? Meanwhile, Subin pressed the accelerator hard, speeding past like a gust of wind. Kim Jae-in's condition was getting worse and worse.